In his third year as head coach of the UH football team, the Nick Rolovich offense is a defensive coordinator's nightmare. Hawaii runs, they shoot, they ground and pound, and they put up numbers that make Hawaii fans stand and cheer. This week, Rainbow Warriors found their way to San Jose to meet the Spartans off a bye week and for their homecoming. College football is coming up. Live from CEFCU Stadium here in San Jose, California, this is University of Hawaii football on Spectrum Sports. Today, Rainbow Warriors on the road facing the Spartans. For the Spartans, it is their homecoming and their Mountain West Conference opener. Hawaii, San Jose State. Over the years, it's been a great matchup. My broadcast partner, Rich Meehan.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. It's really San Jose's official homecoming, but it seems like it's almost a road homecoming for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors because there are a lot of fans going to be dressed in green, and I think they're excited to see this team, the most excited they've seen in years. This team is destined for some good things.
And nobody wants to be the homecoming victim.
Yeah, and that was well talked about. If you're somebody's homecoming scheduled opponent, that's almost insulting. And Hawaii is too good to be anybody's homecoming opponent. But they got to go prove that today. They've got to execute.
Rainbow Warriors, Spartans, keys to the game today are?
Well, let's start with Hawaii, and I got 42, the number 42, because Hawaii is 4-0 this season when scoring 42 points or more. Hawaii is 8-0 under Nick Rolovich as head coach, 18-0 including his tenure as the head coach. For San Jose, get offensive. If you want to beat Hawaii, you need to score points. Spartans' offense is struggling statistically. Their scoring offense is 115th out of 129. Their total offense is 120, and their rushing offense is 129. The Spartans are going to have to get offensive.
And on the field here in San Jose, brand new turf, looking very nice. Used to be that old muddy grass look. Spartans have won the coin flip. They've chosen to defer, looking like Hawaii going to start the game on offense with the football. Hawaii likes that.
Yeah, they do. And they've been very successful. As talked about in broadcast before, they've scored on the opening possession 4 out of 5 times.
The skill players for San Jose State, brought to you by Hawaiian Financial FCU. It's the tight end. Much talked about Josh Oliver. Receivers are Holmes, Blackwell, Gaither, and Roberson. And then up front, the big boys for the Spartans. It's an offensive line that's been mixed and matched throughout the season. And we'll get to them, but first the quarterback. We can tell you this much. There will be more than one quarterback for San Jose State. We do not know which one will get the start. Montel Aaron is one of them. The other is Josh Love. So skill position players for the University of Hawaii. It starts with number 5, John Ursua. He's Cedric Bird, JoJo Ward, Marcus Armstrong Brown, and Fred Holly will get the start at running back. And the quarterback for Hawaii is Cole McDonald, 1,759 yards, 20 touchdowns, just 1 interception, number 1 in the country in yards and TDs. This game here in San Jose State is about to get started. Spartans will kick it off, and back to receive for Hawaii.
Yeah, Justice Alfaga, who's been doing a good job, Robert, as a kick returner, and even better as a punt returner, averaging 12 yards a carry, and usually back there with him is Cedric Bird.
And Bryce Crawford, powerful leg for San Jose State, amongst the tops in the country in kicking, punting as well. So his opening kickoff goes about 4 or 5 yards deep into the end zone. Boy will take a knee, and they'll start on offense at the 25-yard line. And now the big boys up front. For the Rainbow Warriors, it's the 2 freshmen, Il Manning and Solo Vaipulu, J.R. Hensley, most experienced, Ta'anga Tulima at center, and Cole Leval at left tackle. Defensive line for San Jose State, and these boys, all seniors, and they bring it. Silosi Latu, Boogie Roberts, and Bryson Bridges. They're going to be a handful for Hawaii's offensive line. 2 freshman starters, but they've gotten some good work.
Yeah, they have. And Nick Rolovich said maybe the best front 3 they've played against this season.
Well, on first down, Rainbow Warriors run the ball up the gut. Fred Holly, and he's still pushing for some extra yards. The linebacking core for San Jose State: Jamal Scott, Jesse Osuna is the alpha dog, Ethan Aguayo, Kyle Harmon. And on the back end for San Jose State, it's Toussaint, Jonathan Leonard, Trey Webb, and Dakari Monroe. Their best cover guy has 2 interceptions so far this season.
Interesting as Nick Rolovich scripts the opening plays that they would open up on 1st and 10 with a run.
A pickup of 4 yards. Cole McDonald, familiar shotgun, looks left, throws left, completes the pass to Armstrong Brown. Just enough for a first down for the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, just a little hitch, Robert, out to the left side. And the great thing about this Hawaii offense is they're getting the ball out in 1.8, 1.9, 2.0 seconds. They time every throw. And that makes it a lot easier for that offensive line knowing the ball's coming out quick.
Oh, it runs on first down. Cole McDonald throws on 2nd down to pick up that first down. Officials mark it near the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, Rainbow Warriors. Opening drive, quick throw right side. And it's a completed pass to JoJo Ward. Gets across the 45-46-yard line before he was brought down by Toussaint.
Yeah, and JoJo Ward may be the fastest guy linear. You're going to see on your screen just an 8 or 9 yard stop knowing where the sticks are, and then he's trying to set the corner and break that tackle. Good poise by JoJo Ward.
So 1st and 10, Hawaii again. Now watch the battle at the line of scrimmage. Big front 3 for the Spartans. And off some play action look. Cole McDonald thought about pulling out of the belly of Fred Holly, but keeps it in there. And he gets another first down for Hawaii.
Yeah, and Holly just straight up on the inside zone, but does a nice job. And they say he doesn't do anything great, but he does everything well. He has quickness, he has patience, he has vision. And you can see that left A gap. Nice job by the center and the guard, double teaming the nose. And you'll see a lot of that all day, double teaming that big nose tackle.
That's a good sign for Hawaii if they can get a hole like that against this defensive front. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. They give to Holly again. And Holly is brought down by Silosi Latu.
Yeah, and Latu, originally from Tonga, did not move to the United States till he was 16 years old. And he's 325 pounds. He only played rugby growing up, but he's quite a defensive lineman for the Spartans.
Yeah, he moves it. Boogie Roberts, that nose guard, is an absolute beast. He'd be a handful for Ta'anga Tulima. Hawaii center. Spartans show a blitz. They pull back instead. Freddie Holly helps pick up the blocking for Cole McDonald. He gets across the 35, maybe the 34-yard line.
Yeah, and when talking about Cole McDonald to Brent Brennan, the head coach for San Jose State, he said the good thing about this Hawaii offense, which June Jones never had, is they have a quarterback that can not only extend plays, but the quarterback counter, the read options, the RPOs. The danger of him with his legs has made this run and shoot even more explosive.
And then he said, run and shoot my foot.
Yeah.
It's much more than that.
It was almost like it's a marketing thing. They're doing so much more than just the pure run and shoot.
3rd and 4. It's marked at the 35-yard line of San Jose State. McDonald looking to throw. Has all day. Finally tucks it, lowers his head, and gets to the 30-yard line. It'll be first down, Rainbow Warriors.
And you got to cringe if you're Craig Stutzman, the passing game coordinator, as well as the quarterback coach, because Cole McDonald took a shot, but he knew where the sticks were. Really exciting. He's 6'4", he's 210 pounds, and I'll tell you, the offensive line doing a phenomenal job. The pocket is clean, and then there's nobody open. Good job in the back end by the Spartans, but McDonald knows where the first down markers are.
And the Spartan defender is slow at getting up. It's Trey Webb.
Interesting, Robert, thus far in terms of the scripting of the plays. Really good job with the run, the pass, the protection's been clean. Receivers haven't got really wide open other than a couple of hitches and curl routes, but right now it's going the way the Rainbow Warriors scripted.
So not Trey Webb, it's 11, Jesse Osuna. And talking to San Jose State's defensive coordinator, he's the alpha dog amongst the linebackers.
Yeah, Mark Odom said that he's not only tough, he's the guy that lines guys up, and he has 2 interceptions against 2 Pac-12 teams. So he's doing a nice job of playing both the run and the pass. So this would be a big loss for the Spartan defense.
Osuna, 6 feet, 225 pounds. He's a junior. He has 22 tackles coming in. Ethan Aguayo, the other linebacker, has 25 stops for the Spartans entering tonight's game against Hawaii.
Yeah, and the team leaders, Jamal Scott, the other outside linebacker, number 5. So nice. We talk about the front 3, and rightfully so, because not only did Nick Rolovich say this may be the best front 3 they've played, but Derek Odom, the defensive coordinator, says when they go, we go. The best pass defense is a pass rush.
And they try initially at the start of the game to see what they can get done with just a 3-man front. If need be, they'll bring a linebacker from the outside, bring a linebacker, and blitz to the A-gap as well.
No question. And, Robert, if they are successful with just the 3-man rush, they're going to drop 8 guys, and they're going to hope Cole McDonald runs the ball. And then they're going to try to put some helmets on him and see if they can take him out of this football game by being physical.
Now, enough concern for Osuna that head coach Brent Brennan in his second year is out there as he gets up and gets off the field under his own power. Brennan 2-14 in his second season overall, 1-8 in the Mountain West Conference. He and Hawaii head coach Nick Rolovich have formed a great relationship, friendship over the years.
Both have a lot in common. Young, new FBS coaches.
Offensive-minded.
Yeah, offensive-minded, took over programs that were struggling.
And he believes San Jose State could be good with the recruiting base they have around it here. So Cole McDonald fakes the give to the running back Holly and then quickly throws it to Cedric Bird. And Bird brought down at the 24-yard line.
And one of the things Hawaii does as good as anybody in the country is the RPO, and you just got your first glance at that. And normally they throw the quick slant, but out of trips, the receiver wisely sits down inside of the nickelback, away from the middle linebacker and in front of the free safety, understanding where the window is.
Now Cedric Bird, 40 receptions coming in. That ranks 8th in the country. Cole McDonald this time gives it and keeps it in the belly of Fred Holly, who may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 3.
Yeah, Jamal Scott doing a really nice job of understanding when it is run, read your keys. You're going to see number 5, see the pulling guard, beat the offensive lineman in a really nice job of keeping his head and his eyes up.
So he gets under the pulling lineman, sits in the hole and gets the stop on Fred Holly. No surprise for why you're running it. They're trying to make them play honest up front and not drop 8 back. On 3rd and 4, Cole McDonald looks deep. Cole McDonald has a receiver knocked away inside the 5-yard line by Trey Webb.
Trey Webb, the toughest route to cover in quarters or deep halves is the corner route. He was on the upfield shoulder. He actually put his hand on the receiver's back but did not affect the ability to catch the football, and then comes through with his right hand. Nice job, big pass breakup.
On 3rd down, they make a play on defense. And there's a stretch and great defensive effort. Hawaii will go for it on 4th down.
Hawaii,
no surprise.
Hawaii 5 for 7 this season on 4th down.
Cole McDonald looking to throw it. He's looking deep. And in the middle of the field, completed to John Ursua.
Ruling on the field is completed pass for 1st down, Hawaii.
Robert trips right, double in, middle area attack. Cole McDonald sees the underneath route is taken. Well, first of all, he holds the free safety, comes back to the trip side, and John Ursua, one of the nation's best wide receivers, goes up in traffic in just strong hands.
And one-handed held on to it as he got body slammed on the turf here. It's 1st and 10. They mark it at the 13-yard line. Opening drive of the game. Cole McDonald in the belly, out of the belly, and then throws it intended for Ursua in the end zone.
Ursua has a couple of drops early in the season, but I think this ball's slightly thrown behind him. And if there was a string on it, I think Cole McDonald would like this one back.
Ineligible player downfield, number 75. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that can happen because of the mesh of Cole McDonald holding it in the running back's mesh point so long that the lineman now goes downfield. And if he's not engaged over 3 yards, that's an illegal offensive lineman downfield.
That's the freshman Ilm Manning. It backs away up to make it 2nd and 15. They've been phenomenal in the red zone this season. 22 of 24, with 18 of the 22 scores being touchdowns. 1st and 15 from the 18-yard line, opening drive. Play action, and one-handed, it's caught by JoJo Ward.
Robert, that has to be a pre-snap thing because the wide receiver is pressing the X-receiver, the outside man on the line of scrimmage. He read that play, and that could have been a pick six. That was an ill-advised throw by Cole McDonald. You're going to see more blue jerseys around than white jerseys, and the defensive back did not see the football.
Thankfully for Hawaii, Dakari Monroe never saw the hot read, never saw it coming, ran straight upfield because the play action was to Fred Holly again.
Yeah, and this Spartan secondary defense has already more interceptions than they had all of 2017.
2nd and 13 from the 18-yard line. Cole McDonald, left side, completed pass to the 7-yard line, and then pushed back is Marcus Armstrong Brown.
Brown, a big body type of guy. Hawaii's tallest receiver amongst the starting four. Basically, just posts up in the paint. Big, strong hands, big, strong target.
It sets up 3rd and 4. And already only 6 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
And this is the 14th play of this drive, Robert. This is the longest opening drive Hawaii's had.
It was 8:05, not 6:05. One of the lights on the scoreboard's out. 8s look like 6s. And Cole McDonald looks like touchdown. Oh, he had a receiver open in the back end of the end zone.
Now this is the decision. Normally you would kick in this situation, and Nick Rolovich has elected to kick.
Nobody accuses Nick Rolovich of reading chapter 1 in the coaching manual. He's often gone for it on 4th down.
You never know what to expect with a Nick Rolovich coach team, and you're right, he didn't fly 2,700 miles to not go for 7, especially how successful they've been on their opening drives.
For Ryan Mescal, they'll plant it to the 15-yard line. A field goal attempt of 25 yards. It's whistled good. Mescal is 5 for 5 on field goal attempts this season. Hawaii leads on the road, 3-0.
Rainbow Warrior Football on Spectrum Sports is sponsored by Bank of Hawaii and Hawaii Honda Dealers.
On the opening offensive series of the game, Cole McDonald and Hawaii with the ball marched 15 plays. End result, a 25-yard field goal by Ryan Mescal. The Rainbow Warriors lead 3-0 against San Jose State.
Yeah, the first 4 games, Robert, as we all know, resulted in the opening drive being a touchdown. Last week, slightly underthrown ball. Duquesne makes a great play on the ball. Interception. This game, they kicked a field goal. I think that's a win almost for San Jose State.
The kickoff here, the ensuing kickoff, is deep in the left corner, and the Spartans will bring it out across the 20-yard line and barely get into the 25 for San Jose State, where they will take over. Up front for the Spartans, it's a mix and match group. Jackson Snyder has been the guy. He's now at left tackle. Kowalski, Robbins, Coleman, and Dino Moats are the blockers up front. And up front for Hawaii on defense, Zeno Choi, Blesman Ta'ala, Sam Akoteo, and Derek Thomas, defensive front. The quarterback to start here will be Josh Love, a junior from Mission Viejo, 6'2", 205, 347 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 INTs coming in. And on first down, he throws it in the backfield, and an open field stop.
Manu Hudson, Rasmussen, great job, because that was a lateral, Robert. That's in the backfield.
He gets into the backfield, tackled for loss. Starting linebackers for the University of Hawaii is Matautia Jelani Tavai, and the guy you just saw making that play, Manu Hudson Rasmussen. On the back end, Zach Wilson, Hicks, Okeke, and Ro Harris, the opposite corner. So Josh Love gives it Malik Roberson. Not much running room.
Yeah, and guess who? Lesman Ta'ala, Robert, who was last week's Hawaii Defensive Player of the Year, and that guy's really coming into his own. His ceiling, his potential is vast.
It's just amazing how you see a guy who's a true freshman come into a Division I program like Hawaii and instantly is the strongest man on the team. Now pressure on Love, he gets out of it, slides to his right, and completes it almost a lateral again. They may have got across the original line of scrimmage. It was completed to Roberson. He got run out of bounds at the 22-yard line. It'll force San Jose State to punt.
Yeah, good job by Solomon Mautautia, who was injured last week. He had a little hip flexor, back in the starting lineup, and that's nice to see because he's capable of big plays.
Bryce Crawford, field goal kicker, punter, averaging 43 yards per attempt. And that's, I think, may qualify as a shank, but there are 2 flags thrown near the 25-yard line in the area where you'd expect it to go against the punting team.
Personal foul. Leaping the shield, number 35, return team. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
You're going to see the Rainbow Warrior defender leap the shield, which you're not allowed to do on point after touchdowns, field goals, and punting.
Now, doing the leaping was Jeff Keane. Went over the top. It's automatic now.
Yeah, and Jeff Keane is the one who earlier this season blocked a punt. So he's been there before. He's taken a ball off the punter's foot, but he has to understand you cannot leap over. And that's just the safety rule that's been instituted based upon guys landing on their head.
But what it does is it's enough of a penalty to put the Spartans offense back on the field with 6:12 remaining in the opening quarter. Hawaii ahead 3-0 after they go 15 plays to get a Ryan Mescal 25-yard field goal. False start. It'll be against San Jose State.
And they've been struggling on their offensive line, Robert. They've taken a tackle, moved them to guard. There's only been one of the linemen that have started all 3 games at the same position. And the new offensive coordinator, Kevin McGivern, is trying to figure out who can protect, who's a better run blocker, and which quarterback is more efficient as he installs his offense, being the first year as an offensive coordinator.
And they've pretty much thrown out the tape against Washington State. I mean, they played every different angle and collapsed on their offense. And pressure by Gino Choi on Josh Love. And Josh Love on the money across midfield now. That pass completed, and there is a flag on the play. Trey Hartley is the receiver who caught it, and he showed some wheels.
You're going to see a nice little swing pass, and then here's the hit, and it's out of bounds. It's a chicken wing, but it's on the white.
Barely touched it. I mean, really? He pulled up.
And it goes to show you, it doesn't have to be a violent hit. It just, if it's on the white, it's illegal.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Number 22, offense. That penalty will be enforced from the spot of the foul, 15 yards. Still first down.
Good job on the no call, out of bounds.
There's Ty Cottrell. He's a speedy guy at a 96-yard kickoff return in their loss to Oregon. I'm thinking it cannot be against Okeke. He barely touched him even though he was in the white, but illegal block by Cottrell. First and 14, backed up to the 38-yard line, and no place at all to run.
Zeno Choi, 99, slanting inside. What an explosive play for the senior from Kaiser High School, is getting better constantly. You're going to see him off the left side. Watch him come through with a little rip move. And you talk about hips, bring your feet, face up, big play, Zeno Choi.
That play had absolutely no chance. And Brendan Manigo was the ball carrier. Josh Love overthrows his intended receiver, Malik Roberson, out of the backfield.
Yeah, and 27, Mao Tautier applied the pressure, did a nice job of controlling his feet and also affecting the football throw by getting his hands up as he rushed in. There you see Brent Brennan, good friends with Nick Rolovich, but this is one of those where you're really good friends, you're very competitive.
The 3rd and 16. So Manago was the running back who got blown out by Zeno Choi. And pressure again to Love. And he throws it pretty much a lateral. And pulling it in for San Jose State is Roberson. He's got some shape to his running ability.
He does, but I'll tell you, Panay Pavi in the open field, Robert made an outstanding tackle because that was a two-way go. He broke down, he closed the gate, he kept his head up, wrapped up, grabbed some cloth. Big tackle for Panay Pavi.
Bryce Crawford back to punt again. Boy, he penalized on his previous punt attempt. But jumping the shield, and Crawford this time gets all of it. And there is another flag near midfield, and somehow Hawaii pulls it out from inside the 5-yard line and doing damage on the run back is Justice Algafa.
Algafa with a 12-yard average just increased that, but there are yellow flags all over this football field, and it usually means it's coming back.
I mean, he was deep.
Yeah, you're supposed to get your heels on the 10-yard line, and if it's over your head, let it go in the end zone, take the ball to 20. He broke every rule as a punt returner. So that's one of those where you go, no, 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 no. Yes, yes. Good return by Algafa.
It was a good return. But, again, it was chapter 1. Put your heels in the 10-yard line.
Holding, number 13. Receiving. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down, Hawaii.
So Corey Beckley is guilty of the holding infraction. With 4:26 left here in the opening quarter, Hawaii leads San Jose State 3-0. Under normal circumstances, that guy, Hawaii head coach Nick Rolovich, nobody will accuse him of being normal. Hawaii will take over an offense, 1st and 10, from their own 2-yard line. When you've got the sickness of run and shoot, all that tells you is, hey, we could get 98 yards. And you have to have that mentality to run this style of offense.
Yeah, and I worked for a guy for 9 years, June Jones, was the same way. They may throw the go from the 2-yard line. You never know what Hawaii will do when they're backed up.
It's 3-0. Hawaii leading San Jose State. 4:26 left in the opening quarter. Hawaii's first possession, they went 15 plays, starting from their own 25-yard line, and got a 25-yard field goal by Ryan Mescal. Cole McDonald's 4 yards deep in his end zone. He's got time. That ball tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Second down.
And Bryson Bridges got his paw up and knocked it down.
McDonald now half roll to his left, coming back to his right side. Good job by the defensive lineman, penetrating, pushing the pocket back, and then getting the hands up.
And that's saying something when your quarterback is 6'4", and he gets a pass tipped at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Again, Hawaii backed up to the 2-yard line. Cole McDonald 3 yards deep. Much quicker release this time. A completed pass to JoJo Ward. It gets across the 5-yard line.
Great tackle in the open field by John Toussaint. Zamor Ziegler. Beautiful job in the open field. That's the toughest tackle, is the hitch route.
He misses that tackle and doesn't hold on to those ankles. JoJo Ward would make that play exciting.
98 yards and out the gate.
Pickup of 7, 3rd and 3. Officials mark it at the 9-yard line. Split receivers both sides. Cole McDonald, quick out, quick release, and a quick completion to Marcus
Ruling on the field is
Armstrong
completed
Brown.
pass, first down, Hawaii.
That's a first down for UH.
Yeah, and Armstrong Brown running the quick slant again with the big body, knowing where the sticks are. 1, 2, 3. And you'll see it right here. The corner who's furthest off is usually the guy that gets thrown on. They would bump and run, doubling the slot, single coverage on the outside. Marcus Armstrong Brown showing capable hands.
If you're a coach in this style of offense, you love seeing your quarterback and your receiving corps reading exactly the same thing what a defense is showing them. On 1st and 10, Hawaii runs left side. Fred Crowley. Maybe a pickup of 2 yards.
And Robert, the receivers have made a lot of mistakes, but it's been covered up by the accuracy of Cole McDonald. And if they continue to get on the same page in this run and shoot where they're reading the same thing, it's gonna only get more efficient, and they're really good right now.
The pickup of 3 on first down from the 20, 2nd and 7. McDonald looks left side, has time, looks on the middle of the field, a completed pass and then knocked free. Cedric Bird had
Ruling on the
it in
field
his
is
hands.
complete pass, third down.
Big time hit now. You talk about Jonathan Leonard, the free safety, because that was a beautiful throw, a deep dig over the middle, and you can't have a prettier ball thrown on stride, but that's what you do. You punish people as a free safety. If they catch it in front of you, you come up, you punch the ball out. Big play for the Spartans.
So you can no longer hat on hat in college football, but you can play hat on ball. 3rd and 7 from the 20-yard line. Excellent defensive play for San Jose State. And then out thrown by Cole McDonald in and out of the hands of JoJo Ward. And back to defend again is Ziegler.
Yes, Ziegler, this is a speed break out, a 12-yard speed break out. Cole McDonald threw that before the receiver came out of his break, and it was perfectly thrown. But that was perfectly covered, Robert. I can't tell you how hard it is to cover that speed break out. Give San Jose's back end a lot of credit. These are some athletes.
So Stan Gaudian back to punt, standing on his own 5-yard line. He's the rugby style, goes back to his left side. The punt is pulled in, and then the ball carrier pulled down.
Ikem Okeke, who is not only a starting strong safety, but one of the best cover guys that Michael Gabriel has. Great job, special teams. Cole McDonald on the money, little half roll to his right. He's a righty. He gets his hips opened up, and he throws just an absolute brilliant strike. But an even better play by the defender, because the defender now is looking through the upfield shoulder on the speed break, which is the hardest route to cover, and he does a phenomenal job. You'll see him coming through with the long arm, the left arm. Normally it's the right arm. He comes through the receiver with that left arm, and that's a PBU.
That's how it works, brought to you by Central Pacific Bank. And that guy, last night, got inducted into the San Jose State Hall of Fame. That's super fan, Crazy George. It's not insulting to call him Crazy George. That's the name he likes. And that's the play that the defense likes.
Zeno Choi again in the backfield. And I'll tell you what, the defensive line is slanting and penetrating. And how do you stop the inside run or the outside run? It's 99. Watch him just slice through, and then look at, he just has one arm. You talk about strength and tenacity, and just, he will not let go of the jersey.
It's like somebody tried to steal his Calbee. And Zeno Choi said, I'm not having it. You're gonna love a kid like that who walks on, earns a scholarship, and makes big time plays in the opponent's backfield. Now off the play action, reverse now for San Jose State. An excellent defense by Hawaii. And now a flag is thrown. Bailey Gaither, 14 receptions coming in, 230 yards. As a big play receiver, he gets the call on the reverse. The first two people who touched the ball on that reverse, quarterback and running back, took shots.
Really well defended from Hawaii, and I'll tell you what, Kevin McGivern, the offensive coordinator, going to the 1,000 greatest plays in football.
After the play is over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So getting the call there is Ikem Okeke.
And look at it. It's not violent. I don't know if he could have held up
That
anymore.
foul was on number 32.
Maybe the extension of the hands. 22 is the call.
There is no 32 that we are aware of. On first down here after the penalty, Josh Love. Looking for some love deep down the field. Inside the 20. It's a completed pass to the same guy. That's Gaither.
First down, San Jose State.
You talk about just running by a defensive back, using your speed. He is the big play wide receiver. And when you asked Robert, the offensive coordinator, when you gotta go deep, who do you go to? He said, this is the guy, number 84.
He's got the big play capability. And that time he connected with his quarterback, Josh Love. Now Love entered only a 48% passer. That's a big bomb. First and 10 for the 18. High snap. Spartans run and go to the outside. Roberson pushed out by Keelan Hicks.
Yeah, and we haven't talked a lot about Hicks, and he does a lot of things correctly. He's got the length in the secondary, and that was a nice job of inside-out tackling.
So not Roberson on that play. He's back in now. But it was Manigo.
A game for 2nd and 6 from the 14.
And now it's Roberson. Pick up for San Jose State. And what a pass inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Love is on the money there because that window was small. It was barely thrown over the linebacker's head. And I'll tell you, Love did a phenomenal job against Oregon. He had 238 yards passing and 1 touchdown. But you're going to see right now him just allowing the receiver to get behind Jelani Tavai. And Jelani Tavai is 6 feet 4 inches tall.
And with that, that'll be the final play of the first quarter here. With the Spartans inside the 5-yard line off that great pass play by Josh Love to Trey Hardling. And after 1 quarter, Hawaii leads on the road in the Mountain West Conference 3-0. Tonight's Jack Fact is about stingy defense. Rainbow Warriors last week held Duquesne to 166 yards total offense. Hawaii's best defensive effort since holding Lamar to 127 yards on September 15, 2012. Jack Fact brought to you by Jack in the Box.
Yeah, and Robert, you talked about great defense. Right now, Hawaii, after 1 quarter, they've only given up -3 yards rushing. It was those 2 big pass plays that allowed the Spartans to be down here inside the 10-yard line. They're doing a great job against the run, but they got to shut down the pass.
And Zeno Troy may be having the best game of his career. That defensive line, he's a captain and a rubber suit. Is hit hard by Solomon Matautia and Eperone Moananu.
Yeah, and you're seeing defensive lines slanting, stunting, and you're going to see Solomon Matautia stay square and then play off the low block. And I watched them work on that with Mark Banker before the game, the linebacker coach. Solomon Matautia is a good inside linebacker.
Who had a phenomenal end to 2017, last 4 or 5 games. And San Jose State, they go big.
Guess who? Boogie.
They go big for the touchdown. And we're talking about a load. It's Boogie Roberts, defensive lineman. And that's pretty much unstoppable in short distance.
Yeah, Robert, he's 266, but he looks good in the uniform. He looks like a fullback, and you can see him lower his pads. And at first, you don't think that's the big nose tackle because his running style is so conducive. He has played a little bit of running back before, but getting into the end zone is every nose tackle's dream.
His position coach, very familiar to Hawaii football fans, and Jose Umalu, former University of Hawaii defensive end, Radford graduate, 18 years now, and assistant coach in college football. Started at Cal Poly, bounced around, was here before at San Jose State and Oregon State, and now back here with the Spartans.
And the thing I love about Joe is He is the point person now for San Jose. He's already offered Stanley McKenzie, a 2020 St. Louis High School defensive lineman, a scholarship. So he's going to be in Hawaii looking to get some great local players here with the Spartans.
Bryson Crawford, the extra point up, and it is good. And the Spartans, on their homecoming, take the lead against the Rainbow Warriors 7-3. Spartans go 68 yards on 7 plays, 2 minutes 45 seconds off the clock, and the quarterback, Josh Love, slow start, and then he got rolling.
Yeah, he got rolling, 4 for 5, 75 yards, and you're going to see after this reverse, 2 passes. This one, the long one, the bomb, perfect on stride ball, beautiful throw and catch, and then the quick slant. Well, you're first seeing another outside run. Kalen Hicks doing a nice job of knocking the running back, and here's the slant, the inside position, well thrown, and then it's Boogie Nights coming up. This guy, Robert, does hot yoga, and he says it's harder than football workouts, and I can attest to that. Hot yoga's tough.
How often do you do hot yoga then, Mr. Young?
5 times a week.
Do you wear the whole tights and everything, leotards?
Not the tights.
Okay. And a kickoff return here, and salute kickoff. Alfanga across the 30 to the 34-yard line.
Algafa does a nice job, Robert, of setting it and then exploding through the holes, and he's tough. I mean, he's played so many different positions. He's a utility type of guy, but they're saving Cedric Bird for the offense, and Algafa does a nice job of kickoff return.
Now, Algafa gets it out to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 Hawaii. Cole McDonald looking to throw. There's pressure up the middle. He completes it quickly and gets it to the outside receiver screen, the bubble, to Ursua.
Yeah, Ursua coming back to the football. The number 2 receiver, and then the linemen come downfield. But a really nice job of not only responsible, the defensive lineman seeing it's a quick throw, go down the line of scrimmage as the linebackers get horizontal in the secondary closed. We've seen that successful all season long, not today.
Just a 2-yard pickup ahead to the 35-yard line. Cole McDonald looks left side, gets a good block by Fred Hawley. And a receiver open, and JoJo Ward almost made a one-handed grab.
Yeah, but the ball was thrown behind him, and another throw. And Cole McDonald's had some beautiful throws that have been knocked out by defensive backs, but that ball is thrown behind JoJo Ward. You'll see right here, he has to come with it with his left hand, and it's behind him and high.
And Ward created separation, had lots of room for McDonald to complete it. Left hash mark at the 35-yard line. It's 3rd and 8 for Hawaii. McDonald has time. Look to the outside, and both receivers went inside. Cole McDonald threw it outside.
Yeah, and Ward's looking back to McDonald, and they're motioning to each other like, on that particular coverage, JoJo, you need to slide into the next window. That's not man, that's zone.
So to this point, we could say, as Cole McDonald is in conversation with JoJo Ward and Craig Stutzman as quarterback coach, it's not been a well-oiled machine offensively to start 2 games in a row here. McGowdy in the punt gets all of it. It's inside the 20-yard line. Excellent return for San Jose State. Now Bailey gave it by Heineken. Inside the numbers, the number's 5. A white team to start the season 5-1 or better since turning Division I. It was 1981, 88, 89, 1992. That's the Holiday Bowl team, and 2007, the 12-0 regular season, the ensuing loss in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, and even though I'm old, Robert, I
81.
just remember the 92 and the 2007, arguably the 2 greatest teams in Hawaii history. So this is a great start for this Rainbow Warrior football program.
Were you not on that 81 team?
I was on that 81 team, but I'm too old to remember that.
Only 5 times Hawaii started at 5-1.
That 81 team was Gary Allen, David Tolo'umu, Mark Tuine, Jesse Sapolu. I mean, you talk about a great team. They ended up being 9-3. No bowl game because there weren't bowl games for bowl-eligible teams with 7 wins.
And as good as Gary Allen was, with the number of yards he put up, as a kid growing up, it's a vivid memory of the breakaway mesh jersey number 4. David Tolo'umu. That jersey was shredded every Saturday night at Aloha Stadium. And Josh Love is finding success down the field, and that's the much talked about tight end. Josh Oliver, number 1 in the FBS last season with touchdown receptions, had 19 coming into this game.
Yeah, and 19 also leads tight ends in FBS football as of today. And I'll tell you one thing, if you're going to get off the bus, 6'5", 250, can run, can block, consummate tight end. Scouts are here watching this young man. He's playing at the next level. And
there are a bunch of scouts we saw before the game here in San Jose. Josh Love fakes the pitch, and that pass deflected by Matautia. And he had help with Padello.
Yeah, Padello doing a nice job. And when you talk to Jacob Euro, Padello's coach, he says not only is he explosive and our best pass rusher, but come to a meeting and look at his notebook. He is so thorough. He's so consummate. It means so much to him. To me, that's the fabric of this football team. And you're going to see 27 right now. Watch. When you're 6'2" and a former defensive back, you know how to drop into pass lanes.
So off the play action, Jelani Tavai blew that up. I'm not sure Josh Love wanted to pull it out of the mesh. Jelani Tavai forced him to do it.
Yeah, and you'll see Tavai on the list for tackles for losses. He's closing in. If he gets 9.9 tackles per game the rest of the season, he'll be the all-time leading tackler, taking the place of Solomon Elamimian, the CFL legend. Jelani Tavai is everywhere.
And 9.9 for that guy
is doable.
39 for the Spartans. They're right at midfield. Flags fly. False start. It'll be against San Jose State.
Robert, the last 2 years, Tavai has had 120 tackles.
Number 57, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Now, to be precise, it works out to 124 tackles in 2017, 129 tackles in 2016. Phenomenal numbers.
And people forget, he was suspended for the first game of this season, and yet he's still double digits every time he's on the field.
Now 3rd and 19. Away puts pressure, left side, pass completed. Josh Love to Laquan Blackwell. Only 6th catch of the year. Flags fly again. What's impressive when you look at the San Jose State roster on offense is the receiving corps. You got the tight end who's 6'5", Holmes is 6'2", Austin Lyle's 6'3", Gaither is 6'5", 220 pounds. They've got size, length, they can stretch a field, and they're a tough receiving corps. Holding. Personal foul against San Jose State.
That's the 6th penalty now. I know Brent Brennan is a disciplinarian, and he knows that you win football games by being disciplined, especially against this Hawaii team.
It was on the back end of a play. The backup center, Kyle Hopping, was hoping not to get caught. That forces the Spartans to punt. Crawford standing back on his own 25-yard line. It's a line drive rip. And taking it at the 10-yard line for Hawaii is Justice Aungafa.
Robert, sometimes as a special teams coach, you don't want your punter to kick it so long that it outkicks the coverage. He did that, but his coverage team backed him up.
He gets down there. It's 7-3 here in the second quarter. Hawaii trails. This week's top 3, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, is NCAA receiving yards. On top of that list right now is Hawaii's John Ursua, number 1 in the country, 623 yards. Number 1 in the country receiving touchdowns with 9. Number 1 in the country with total touchdowns. That's 10. Number 1 in the country with points scored so far. That's 60.
Yeah, and he's unstoppable, Robert. Bolitnikov watched this, also the Polynesian Hall of Fame college football player watched this, and he's a legit candidate.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line for Hawaii. Cole McDonald swings it right side, and John Ursua in his own backfield brought down for a loss of 2 yards, and Zamore Ziegler yet another stop defensively.
Yeah, ZZ, I mean, this guy has shown up all over the field because he fights off the stock block and knows that he has to keep his outside arm free, and he gets his head across the bow. That is a phenomenal play. I'm so impressed by these 2 corners.
They make open field tackles, and the coordinator, Derek Odom, it's a specialty. It's a back end of a defense. A loss of 2. Cole McDonald looking to stretch the field. Had 2 receivers in the very same area, and it kind of was in between Bird and Ursua. Again, it's not the well-oiled machine that we saw in the first 4 games.
Yeah, we got to talk to Derek Odom about being with June Jones and the run and shoot, and how
at SMU,
how that would help him conceptually. And he says we have to hope that they screw it up because they are so good in this hybrid run and shoot with a quarterback that can do so many things. I'll tell you what, he hasn't slept a lot this week.
No. And Hawaii needs to wake up and not sleep a lot in 3rd and 12 here. They go quarterback draw, and Cole McDonald tripped up at the 13, 14-yard line. The difference in this game has been the boogeyman, Boogie Roberts, on a boogie night, scoring the first touchdown of his career, on the first carry of his career, and now his defensive buddies making stops as well.
And you can see 28, so that's quarterback lead. They add an extra number. And when are they going to run the quarterback? When it's important to move the chains of scoring plays. They do not want Cole McDonald running the ball recklessly, but they needed something. But give Spartans defense a lot of credit.
So Stan Gaudian, his punt effort goes out of bounds near the 43, 44-yard line, across midfield. And it was Jamal Scott making the stop on Cole McDonald. Spartans will take over as the officials mark it off, and the Spartans should get it near the 45-yard line.
Big time win for Derek Odom in that defense. Joe Sayamalo, the defensive line coach. This means a lot to this team because even though they're 0-3, Rolovich said best 0-3 team in the country. There's athletes everywhere, but this is the start of the Mountain West Conference for them.
Now, statistically, it has not been an impressive season so far for San Jose State. Now, Josh Love looking deep down the left side, had a receiver open, and has a touchdown by Gaither.
Gaithers, you mentioned 6'5", Robert, but what impressed me is you said 220. And we talked about Josh Love being a get-off-the-bus guy, but I'm sure the scouts are here to see that speed, that size, that length, and that ability to run by cornerbacks. He has shown a burst.
And it was a high snap. Josh Love stood in the pocket, and when his receiver got separation against Zach Wilson, laid it out in front of him, and Gaither went and got it.
Season long, 55 yards.
That's Gaither now being carried off the field by his teammates.
Not sure hamstring, not sure injury, but that pass is good for 55 yards, and they need that young man because he can run by people.
And now he's got one guy carrying him off the field. Is it safe to predict that we may only see Josh Love at quarterback today?
The way he started, yes.
So the extra point now, Bryce Crawford, if it splits the uprights, San Jose State will have an 11-point lead. It does, and they do. It's 14-3 Spartans on homecoming.
Robert,
Josh Love, great touch.
Yeah, and Zach Wilson has 2 interceptions and been more consistent than Eugene Ford, but I think right there, it might be the ankle, but got a good job getting into the end zone. You're going to see right now, that's called the bail technique. You're supposed to be able to run with receivers, but Gaither's showing really long strides, 6'5", and a powerful, explosive type of receiver.
And immediately grabbed that left ankle area upon scoring that touchdown. Josh Love, 7 of 9 throwing the ball, 165 yards, and that 55-yard touchdown connection with Gaither. We thought for sure we'd at least see Montel Aaron at some point in this game. It's their 4th game of the year for San Jose State, and in every game, they played at least 2 quarterbacks. In one game, they played a 3rd quarterback, getting some snaps for Michael Carrillo.
Very impressive in terms of trajectory of the deep ball, and a very catchable ball by Josh Love. Standing in there, sneaky athleticism, Brent Brennan said. He's not a great athlete, but he can move around in the pocket.
The Crawford, the ensuing kickoff, puts away at the 2-yard line. Hangafa brings it out across the 20, breaks a would-be tackle, still on his feet, across the 40, across the 45-yard line, and then brought down near the 47. Excellent effort by Hangafa.
Michael Gabriel, the special teams coach, really impressed by not only the blocking, but you're going to see the want to, Hangafa staying in bounds as he goes down the sidelines. Wow, that's athleticism, and guys are staying with the block longer than the opponent.
Excellent balance by Hangafa. Took it at the 2-yard line. Brings it up across the 45, marked at the 47. Hawaii needs to show a sign of life on offense. 1st and 10, but no, blown up in the backfield. And the boogeyman, no, Bryson Bridges. It's 9, not 8.
And Robert, you've done a lot of football games before. This front 3 all has single digits, which means not only are they seniors, but they're big-time players. And you'll see the inside move by the defensive lineman. Really nice call in terms of slanting into that B gap and keeping your shoulder square and penetrating. Bryson Bridges already has 2.5 tackles for loss and 1 sack this season.
It's a good sign for San Jose State on defense. If that front 3 can be disruptive to Hawaii's offense. Loss of 2, maybe 3 yards. Cole McDonald looking down the field. There's nobody home. 3 defenders near the 20. The 1 receiver in that area broke it off near the 35-yard line.
And you're right, Robert, because do the math, right? If you can control the front, and there was a big-time push by Boogie Roberts inside on the center, and then they're dropping 8. And in the run and shoot, the back does not come out. It's 8 on 4, and that's an advantage for San Jose. Hawaii has never seen a front 3 that can apply pressure with just 3 guys, 3 seniors.
And it's going to be a tough day, a long day, if they continue to drop 8 in coverage. 3rd and 12. From the 45-yard line. McDonald looking left, has all day. Right side, receiver covered well. And the intended receiver is Stubblefield, I believe. And John Toussaint, it was Devin Stubblefield.
Robert, after that kickoff return, Hawaii almost in 4-down territory. They need to move the sticks, and San Jose State responds. 3 plays and out. Hawaii now 2 for 8 on 3rd down, and that's something they've got to improve.
So Stan Gaudian from his 25-yard line gets to the end over end and back to receive for San Jose State inside the 10-yard line, and then breaking a tackle across the 20 and still on his feet across the 30-yard line. Doing damage for the Spartans is Ty Cottrell. So he's the guy we talked about. Had a big 96-yard kickoff return against the Ducks.
Yeah, tackled at the 4-yard line, didn't get in the end zone. But you're going to see missed tackles. Sure, he's going to spin. Sure, he's got good vision and good strength. But Hawaii's missing too many tackles, and that happened on special teams last week. And Michael Gabriel, the special teams coach, was very concerned with his coverage teams.
So here we go. Spartans will take over from their own 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 on homecoming on their home field. They lead 14-3. Rainbow Warriors drew first blood. Opening drive, 15 plays, 25-yard field goal. Josh Love to throw. Had a receiver in separation to his right side near the 40-yard line and threw him wide right.
A little bit of pressure by 54, Lesman Ta'ala. the true freshman from American Samoa, and a little bit of Zeno Choi too. Those two guys have been showing up.
Spartans have had 9 different first-time starters at this level of college football this season over their first 3 games. It's a good stretch for them. Tonight starts 3 consecutive home games. And Roberson turns the corner. The flag is thrown, multiple flags, not Roberson, but Manigo.
Yeah, Josh Oliver, 89 on the stock block, probably was holding.
That's the reaction by Oliver.
You're going to see, Robert, you talk about strength on the perimeter, because usually defensive backs deal with wide receivers. Watch 89 right now get his hands inside, and basically that's Bellator, that's UFC, that's a body slam.
Manu Hudson Rasmussen was the victim. Bellator in town this week here in San Jose State. In fact, the legend himself, Vanderlei Silva, is staying at the same hotel that we're staying in downtown San Jose.
Yeah, and Lima McFarland in town too, the Hawaii champ, so we may get together with her later on this evening.
2nd and 13, loss of 3 there. And a quick dump off in their own backfield. That's more losses. A loose football, but I believe the whistle was already
Moving on
blown.
the field as the runner was down. 3rd down.
Yeah, Kaimana Padilla does a nice job of reading this. Jelani Tavai as well. Little funnel screen.
Now it's 3rd and 15.
A loss of 2 on the last completion, 3rd and 15 for this time.
Hawaii desperately needing a stop on defense.
And everybody had a hard time stopping the run. It's the pass.
They cannot allow Josh Love to complete it deep downfield and get chunk plays. Love has time. Had a receiver open and connects with it. Josh Oliver breaks a tackle across the 15 and knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Ikum Okeke, a touchdown saving stop.
And you mentioned the general manager for the Cleveland Browns being here, John Dorsey, and that guy, 89, is showing speed, athleticism, strength, and we talked about him as a great blocker earlier in his career, but watch this as he just shucks the tackler off, and then you see the long striding 6'5", 250-pound, best-looking tight end in the Mountain West Conference.
I mean, he shook the would-be tackle, and it turned on some afterburners that not many people would believe he possessed had they not seen it for themselves.
And that's a career long, Robert. We talked about this year being an FBS leader. That one, 70 yards.
You get a tight end, and we were talking with the San Jose State coaches, especially head coach Brett, about Hawaii's history, no matter what era, what team, in defending a tight end. Hawaii's often been hit hard by a tight end. And they're running the ball to the right side of San Jose State, Manigo. That's a loss of yards. It was 2nd and goal from the 5. He gets pushed back to the 7-yard line.
Tavai showing responsibility. That's a misdirection. You have to stay at home if you have force. 31 is going to do his job. His 111. He just hopes that the rest of this Rainbow Warrior defense does their 111, because you can always count on 31.
6:24 left in the opening half. Spartans lead 14-3. It's 3rd and goal from the 7-yard line. Josh Love looks right side. Head receiver, Josh Oliver open and overthrew him. Defender in the end zone for Hawaii, Ro Farris, fell down.
Yeah, and Ro Farris is 6'2" tall. And when you look at that whole Rainbow Warrior secondary, they go 6'1", 6'2" across the board. Zach Wilson, now the new starter, at 5'11". What did Brent Brennan say? They have Pac-12 length, and that's important. Abraham Elimimian has gotten some length to cover some of these tall receivers.
It's Ro Farris, it's Hicks, it's Okeke, and it's Bryson Crawford. For the field goal attempt, it is up. It is good. And now the Spartans lead 17-3, 6:12 left in the opening half. Back here live in San Jose, not good news for the Spartans. That's the big playmaker. Bailey Gaither being carted off the field, scored a touchdown, big play touchdown, immediately grabbed the left ankle. And this game so far, 17-3, 6:12 left in the first half. It's been a tale of two different quarterbacks, and not in favor of the one you might think would be ahead. Spartans QB Josh Love, 9 for 14, 233 yards. Hawaii's Cole McDonald,
10 for 20 for 63 yards. So this has been by far the biggest struggle for Cole McDonald in this Rainbow Warrior offense. They'll adjust, but they got to adjust now. They need some momentum.
and we're talking about the #1 quarterback in the country, statistically. And the Pooch kickoff by San Jose State. Hawaii will take over just short of the 35-yard line. Cole McDonald, #1 in yards. Cole McDonald, #1 with 20 touchdowns to only 1 interception. #2 in the country in total offense per game, over 391 yards. That number is nowhere near what Hawaii fans have seen over the first 5 games.
Yeah, 50% passing, only 63 yards, no touchdowns, and Cole McDonald is starting to get national publicity, just like Cole Brennan did in 2006, which parlayed the 2007 Heisman Trophy finalist. But right now, they just have to take one play at a time and get some offensive rhythm.
And some of the snaps have been nobody home between the receiver, the communication, and Cole McDonald. 1st and 10, 33-yard line. Hawaii runs the ball to the right side, and doing the running is a different face in Elijah Dale.
Elijah Dale did not play earlier in the season, but Brian Smith, the running back coach, thinks he has big play potential. He had a broken finger, now fully healed. We saw his athleticism last week when he jumped over a player against Duquesne, and he can take it a long way. So kind of mixing it up at running back.
And like Choi, like Podello, walk-on, earned himself a full scholarship. Dale gets 2 yards, 2nd and 8, 35-yard line. Hawaii trails 17-3. McDonald has all day, and it completes to Ursua across midfield.
Ruling on
Get
the
to
field
the
is complete
41.
pass. First down.
That's a credit to the offensive line to give Cole McDonald that kind of time.
Yeah, and it's only a 3-man pass rush, but they're spying somebody on Cole McDonald because he's that good of a runner, which now creates a 7-man drop. Good job of Ursua finding the window.
Been relatively quiet as #5 for Hawaii. 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. 5:05 left in the first half. Hawaii runs right side. It's Dale across the 35.
McDonald on a keeper.
Oh, McDonald, the keeper. Dale completely fooled me.
Because he kept running, and that's what he's supposed to do, Robert. But nobody keeps it in the mesh. The taller you are at 6'4", you can shuffle down the line of scrimmage, and it confuses people. And then wisely, hook slid.
He dropped his shoulder earlier in this game, but then immediately you saw conversation on the sideline with quarterback coach Craig Stutzman. A gain of 7 by McDonald, and this time he sticks it in the belly and leaves it there of Elijah Dale, and Dale at best got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yep, 2 linebackers, 53 and #5 for San Jose. Jamal Scott doing a really nice job of keeping his outside shoulder free, and that's why he's the leading tackler, always around the football. Good things happen.
The 3rd and 3. It's at the 34-yard line for Hawaii head coach Nick Rolovich and his offense. 3:51 left in the first half. Hawaii down 2 touchdowns. They go left side. Elijah Dale doing work and maybe a yard short, which would make Nick Rolovich take a step
Ruling on the
back
field is the runner
and think
short of the
about it.
line of gain. It'll be 4th down.
Right now, Robert, the trenches are being won with the guys in blue, the seniors. And those 3 guys with single digits have started almost 3 years consecutively. That's the heart and soul of this football team.
Hawaii to go for it. 4th and 1 from the 32-yard line. Entering this game, they were 70% on 4th down, 7 for 10. They scored 3 touchdowns on 4th down this season. And there's a pitch play. McDonald to Dale. near the 20-yard line and then run out of bounds.
That's speed option. That's not run and shoot. And when there's only one guy, as Cole McDonald counts on the end of the line of scrimmage, he's going to hold this ball as long as possible, sweat the defender, 53, but there's nobody for the pitch. That's what makes the run and shoot so dangerous. Speed option, quarterback counter, RPOs. It's when he makes the right read, Cole McDonald, it's money.
That's the conversation yesterday. Run and shoot by foot. It's a whole lot more than a run and shoot. It's 1st and 10 from the 18. Cole McDonald looking right side, dumps it off to Dale, and he's gone across the 5, diving into the end zone. Touchdown for Rainbow Warriors.
We talked about Dale's explosiveness. You're going to see him make a tackler miss in the open field. And again, this is not real run and shoot football either, because the back came out initially, the 5th receiver in the formation. Cole McDonald makes a nice throw, so Dale does not have to break stride. It's right on his chin, and here you see the explosiveness in the open field. The walk-on from San Francisco City College.
And he has Ali Matao at linebacker standing waiting for him, and Dale put a move on him to get free. The extra point is up. It's good by Hawaii. Now it's 17-10, 2:21 left in the first half.
7 plays, 67 yards, and it's just what this Hawaii offense needed. Even though they weren't successful running the football, so to speak, they got in the end zone.
First touchdown as a Rainbow Warrior for Elijah Dale. And he showed an excellent burst after turning the corner, catching a dump-off pass by Cole McDonald. Is that the spark this Hawaii football team needed? Trailing 17-3. It's a great response by the Rainbow Warriors. March it down the field here.
Yeah, and I don't think Hawaii panics in this situation, Robert. And I talked to Nick Rolovich, and they're using analytics in terms of what's working, down and distance type of calls. And when you talk to Stutzman, they also use Exos Thunder videos so they can watch highlights and they can give notes to the players. This is a well-coached football team, and they know how to score points.
The line drive kickoff by Mescal. An excellent coverage by Hawaii on special teams, making a stop at the 25-yard line, Devin Stubblefield.
Yeah, and I talked to Michael Gabriel, and he's surprising because he's a former wide receiver, a much heralded wide receiver coming out of St. Louis High School. He's one of the best cover guys, and you kind of expect that because he's a physical receiver, and he's athletic.
We saw him get physical earlier when it looked like he was going to get called for a helmet-to-helmet contact on special teams. Not afraid to stick his head, stick his shoulders, stick his body in there to make a play on special teams. 18-yard touchdown from Cole McDonald to Elijah Dale. Cut the deficit to 17-10. And right now there's 2:14 left here in the first half. Josh Love has time. Pressure. Gets out of a would-be sack. And it finally brought down. And he coughed up the football. A loose ball. Here
The field is a fumble recovered by San Jose State. 2nd down.
So Matautia.
Hawaii has called their first charge timeout of the half. This timeout will be 30 seconds in length.
And Akoteo knocked it free, and Matautia thought he had a shot at it. It was recovered by the left guard and Troy Kowalski.
A good call, because Matautia knocked that ball out and almost recovered it. Really a nice tackle in the open field.
And timeout called by Hawaii. 2:01 left here in the first half.
6'2", 205 pounds, but Matautia knocks that ball out, and then he sees it, tries to grab it and cradle it. Good job of the offensive lineman for San Jose getting downfield and covering up that fumble.
It's a great 1-2 punch defensively. Matautia makes the hit. Akoteo reaches in as well. One loosened it, the other forced him to cough it up. It's still a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 from the 28-yard line. 2:01 left in the opening half here. Spartans run left side. And doing the running for San Jose State is Manigo, or is it Robo?
Hawaii, second charge of the half, 30 seconds in.
With Malik Roberson. Second timeout charge to Hawaii.
And you mentioned earlier, it's mostly been a half that Josh Love plays. And then they evaluate him, and then they come back with their relief pitcher in the second half. But I'm thinking after this first half, Robert, I'd be shocked if he doesn't start the third quarter.
Especially if you're a quarterback and you can find a consistency throwing the deep ball, you open eyes amongst your coaching staff, amongst your teammates, more importantly.
Yeah, and he played the first half against UC Davis and led the team to 3 touchdown drives. He started 5 times in 2017. This guy's played a lot of football.
And it's all growing pains for this offense. It's finding their own identity, who they are, compared to who they want to be, which they don't know yet, because the evaluation process is still ongoing. Josh Love, quick strike, slam, and completed. And making the catch is Blackwell.
Robert, that ball came out tight, and it came out with great throw.
Spartans go hurry up, 1:41 and counting. They lead 17-10. Josh Love. Milwaukee has time. Hawaii only rushes 3. Excellent coverage down the field. Look at who's doing the coverage.
Kaimana Padelo, he's a defensive end, and if he's rushing, he has pill responsibility on the back, running stride for stride with a running back, and he's 225 pounds now.
I mean, Malik Roberson is excellent out of the backfield. Kaimana Padilla went step for step down the Spartan sideline.
With great technique, pressing out, eyes back, like a DB.
Hawaii brings pressure this time up the middle and completed pass to the big guy. As Tolliver finally knocked out of bounds across midfield. The history of Hawaii defending a tight end. It's not pretty.
No, it's not. And the reason for that, Robert, is when you have a run-and-shoot offense, that's the kind of guys you recruit. Not a lot of tight ends to emulate the scout team. Therefore, they don't practice against it, and it's been a long history of tight ends abusing Hawaii's defense.
It's hard to practice 6'5", 260 when you're not 6'5", 260. Josh Love has time again. He's looking deep down the field. Has a receiver who was covered that time, Trey Hartley, defended by Okeke.
Yeah, you know, Okeke, nobody's running by Okeke, the linear fastest guy on this football team. He had just missed the tackle earlier on the tight end. He plays well against triple option teams, and he plays great on special teams. One thing you're not going to do is run by 22.
So both Okeke and he are products of famed Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas. And neither one was happy there. They started 0-3 and actually run the season. 0-2.
No, they're not, but that's a proud program.
It is.
Chris Brown coaching linebackers. Anui Correa now coaching the defensive line. A lot of Hawaii athletes that have transferred there. That's the 9th island.
No, they weren't happy that their school were 0-2, but they rep the gear daily. Proud Bishop Gorman alum. 51 seconds and counting. Left in first half. There's pressure from the outside. And Josh Love takes a shot, and he still delivers. Ty Cottrell across the 30-yard line.
You talk about Cottrell, I talk about Padelo. Inside move, hit Josh Love right in his rib pads. That guy can rush the passer.
It's Padelo, also Cheyenne Sanitoa, putting a lick on Josh Love.
Called their third and final charge timeout. 30 seconds in lane.
It's been an excellent showing by number 12.
Yeah, and an excellent show by 96. Watch him come and just lay a little love to the San Jose State quarterback.
Padelo has no love for a quarterback, even if the quarterback's name is Love.
Yeah, and we talked about last year being the best pass rusher, but since he's gained another 10, 15 pounds, he's able to play the run. And what he does is he has that upfield speed move that tackles watch all season long, and then he comes underneath with a speed move.
Now, you often see through the history, when you're a walk-on, any program, not just Hawaii, when you get the scholarship, a lot of people expect not so much the same type of effort that got you the scholarship. There was never a concern that 96 would beat that guy, and he's never been that guy.
Yeah, Mililani, they have a great program, and guys like Dayton Ferruta and Kaimana Padello are the heart and soul of this football team.
And there's another Padello, KK, member of the Hawaii National Guard. Josh Love has a receiver open, in and out of the hands of Laquan Blackwell.
Blackwell needs to make that catch, even when it's cover 3 and he knows the free safety should be breaking on the football, right through his hands.
Touchdown?
I think so. He's going to split the safety in the corner. He was open, he had separation.
2nd and 10 from the 31-yard line. 32 seconds left in the first half. Spartans lead 17-10. 0-3 this season. This is their homecoming. Josh Love has time, looks right side. He tucks it. He runs with it across the 25, takes a slide, and then down at the 22, 24-yard line. Actually, it's where you first touch the turf and not where you stop the slide.
Timeout, San Jose State. First charge of the half, 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 21 seconds. 21 seconds, please.
So Brent Brennan has a history of offense in his stops as an assistant coach in his career journey. So we were talking to Kevin McGivens, who's the OC. Sometimes you wonder, how hard is it to be an OC when the head guy is offensive minded? He kind of likes it, and the difference was, and we were dying laughing, in one of their previous stops, Brennan used to work for McGivens. McGivens was the OC. He was the receivers coach. Now the roles have changed.
Role reversal, Robert, you're right. He used to yell at his young assistant coach, and now that's his boss. But I think when you're a young head coach and all the responsibilities you have, it's good to have a veteran offensive coordinator because there's so much to do for Brent Brennan building this program back.
3rd and 2, 23-yard line, 20 seconds left here in the first half. That pass completed. Josh
Going on the field
Love
is a completed pass for a first down.
to Oliver at the 20-yard line.
And that's the physical matchup I'm looking for. Oliver with 22, Ikem Okeke. Ikem Okeke is 6'1". He used to be 220. He's slimmed down to about 205. He can run, but he's got his hands full with a 6'5", 250-pound
Look
tight
at
end.
the length, the size. Oliver is put together. Josh Love, I have no idea what he was throwing at. He was looking for his favorite receiver who was double covered.
Yeah, almost tripled. You had Jelani Tavai running down the seam. You had the two safeties overlapping. Oliver, 4 targets already, receptions, Robert, 111 yards. This is his best game as a Spartan.
And he looks the part. I mean, that's a, wow. 2nd and 10 here, 20-yard line. Love, middle of the field, defended well. Ro Farris, intended for Trey Hartley.
And guess what? In the backfield, guess who's on his backside? And guess who's part of that tackle? Padello, 96.
Padello putting a hit again on Josh Love.
Great coverage by Ro Farris. He is the shutdown corner. Abraham Elamema is as good as he's coached.
Over the past 10, 15 years, think about the tight ends that Hawaii's faced. There was one, I'm drawing blank on his name, Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, and that was an FCS school that had
San Jose
150
has taken the
special
second
yards.
charge time out of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock.
And that's a freak tight end. I think back to when you were coaching as an assistant at University of Hawaii.
9 seconds, please. Thank you.
Under Greg McMacken. We go to Florida to face the Gators. And all the talk is about Tebow. And we're on the field and I stand next to Tebow pregame. Like, dude's a freak. He's well put together. And then you see the backup quarterback, who's now starting for the Carolina Panthers. Was Cam Newton was the backup quarterback to Tim Tebow. And then you turn around and you see Aaron Hernandez. Wow. Oliver is put together like an Aaron Hernandez type guy.
When Hernandez smaller than Gronkowski, but the better route runner and a better athlete.
So on 3rd and long, pressure! Zeno Joy.
No.
Podello.
Podello, and again, you can't block him. And we talked to R.J. Hollis on the game day crew. He couldn't block him. I'm not sure any Rainbow Warrior lineman wants to block 96. Watch this. Watch him use his hands and get skinny and run that circle. Great hips,
San
great
Jose
speed.
has taken their third and final charge time out of the half.
Now, he may have
Please
taken...
reset the game clock to 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
He may have taken Bryce Crawford out of field goal range. Bryce Crawford is 4 of 5 this season, has a long of 31 yards on him. Where the ball is marked right now at the 32-yard line, it'd be, 49 yards?
But the last time Bryce Crawford missed a kick inside of the 50 yards, Robert, was 2016. Wow. Now, he's about 50% over 50 yards, but this guy's a legit Lou Groza Award kicker. He punts, he kicks off, he does it all.
And he's in the top 50 in so many different categories with his leg power, leg strength. Made a 24-yarder earlier in this game. They're going to mark it at the 39. This will be a 49-yard attempt. His long this season is 31 yards.
24 in a row inside of 50.
So it's up. It hits the crossbar. That's a win for Hawaii on this series.
That is the end of the first half.
You know how hard? You couldn't throw the ball from 10 yards and accurately, consistently hit the crossbar.
There's pressure by Jelani Tavai. That guy does not ever stop. His motor's always running, making big special teams play. And I think Crawford felt it.
That's how big that play by Kaimana Podello was defensively for UH.
Robert, total yards, San Jose State 281, Hawaii 161. And again, Love dominating the quarterback play.
And Love's numbers right now, 13 of 23, 273 yards. McDonald, 12 of 22, 105 yards. At halftime, Spartans lead the Rainbow Warriors 17-10. Stick around. Halftime show from our Spectrum Studios in Mililani is coming up. Here's our halftime statistics brought to you by McDonald's of Hawaii.
Well, there are things that stand out, Robert. For instance, Hawaii only 105 yards passing, where San Jose State is thrown for 273. And if you look at rushing yards, San Jose State's going to have to run the ball better in the second half. But I'll tell you, this is a good football game, and I can't wait for the second half.
And third down conversions, 4 of 9 for the Spartans, just 2 of 9 for the University of Hawaii. What's on tap at halftime for both teams, brought to you by Coors Light.
Well, when you think about Hawaii, they're seeing what San Jose's doing defensively. They are rushing 3, they're spying Cole McDonald, and they're dropping 7. They're going to have to get the passing game together. And if not, maybe we'll see some Dayton Faruta. There's going to be a running game that has to get going in the second half.
The offense for Hawaii has yet to find what we look for when it's a well-oiled machine. That's some kind of a rhythm.
Rhythm,
offense,
execution.
yes, when they start moving and marching up and down the field. Hawaii will kick off to start the second half, and the Spartans again lead 17-10. And the kickoff is to the right side. At the end zone, is brought out from the 1-yard line. Excellent coverage by the University of Hawaii around the 6-7 yard line.
And give credit to the kicker. That was placed perfectly in the corner of the end zone.
In the first half, you got to have a lot of love for Josh, the quarterback for the Spartans.
Yeah, and you're going to see the speedster on the reverse and then looking downfield. Great platform, great throw. The big-time wide receiver, number 84. And then there's just a bullet right there on the quick slant. Love doing his job on the RPO as well. And Hawaii has to get better in cover 3 because they're allowing the vertical passing game to be successful.
Tight end Josh Oliver making big plays. 84 Bailey Gaither made big plays, but was carted off the field. On first down here, they run an inside, basically a reverse. They do an offense.
Yeah, a little fly sweep, and all the quarterback does is touch pass it. to 22, and we've seen 22 successful as well in this offense with a much larger role now that Gaither has gone down.
I'm trying to comb the sideline here, looking for 84. Not yet seen his jersey. A pickup of 5 on first down. Spartans 2nd and 5 on the 13-yard line. They give up the gut. Jelani Tavai there defensively.
Talking to some of the scouts, they love Jelani Tavai. They're here to see Josh Love as well. They're here to see the big tight end. But Jelani Tavai, they feel, can play in the 3-4 package, which approximately 20 out of the 32 teams in the NFL are playing. Jelani Tavai, special teams, outside linebacker. He's played inside, a guy that can just do it all.
He did it there on 2nd down, and on 3rd and 2, they give it again up the gut, and it's going to be short by about a yard. If Hawaii defensively can force the Spartans to go 3 and out, which they have, San Jose State now forced to punt.
Yeah, and give Hawaii's kickoff coverage credit, because that ball, how it was placed, and that's an art in itself for the kicker to be able to pin the ball inside the hash by the sidelines, has given Hawaii great field position.
I mean, it was textbook, right? Coffin corner for Hawaii special teams. Bryce Crawford, it's another line drive punt effort. And again, Hangaffa tried to reverse field. Had he gone straight down the sideline, it was wide open.
Robert, I like the fact that you have the vision, because I agree with you. He cut it back to the coverage. He already had contained broken. He should have taken that ball down the sidelines.
Well, it comes onto the field offensively. It's Fred Holly in the backfield. To the left side is Marcus Armstrong Brown. And to the far side, trip receiver JoJo Ward, Cedric Bird, John Ursua. Hawaii trails 17-10. Their first offensive possession of the second half starts at their own 45-yard line. Spartans show blitz, then back off. Cole McDonald taking a while. And finally takes a snap. In and out of the man. So Fred Holly, and they completed across the 40-yard line to Cedric Bird.
Yeah, and you're going to see what Craig Stutzman's talking about the RPO in terms of pushing the ball downfield to the number 2 receiver, and that's called a dig route. You go down about 14 to 16 yards, and then you go in. Great throw, great concept of pushing the RPO downfield.
And you often hear quarterback coaches and offensive coordinators talk about different levels. You had John Ursua, the short level, same exact route, the dig, and on the back end, at the second level, was Cedric Bird. Cole McDonald, quick pitch to JoJo Ward, keeps his balance, reverses field, fumbles, and he goes out of bounds. Possession remains Hawaii's.
And that's the nose tackle. That's all the way to the sidelines making that play.
Ball be placed at the 38-yard line. The 2nd down, Hawaii.
Hey, if the boogeyman can go boogie nights, you got to make plays.
Upfield pressure. You don't even see him on the screen anymore, but you're going to see him come into the screen running laterally and running like a fullback. That was the first time a San Jose State defensive player has scored a touchdown since 2008 that played on the offensive side of the ball.
And you know he's jacked up. His first touch,
that's huge.
Goes into the end zone. A gain of 2 yards. They get to Holly right side. On 2nd and 8 from the 38, he may have gotten 2 yards to set up 3 and 6 for the Rainbow Warriors. Timeout. Injured player on the field. It's Jamal Scott, the outside linebacker. He's slow in getting up. He's going to have to miss a play because the training staff came on the field. They're addressing his right hand, right wrist, that area.
Scott 6'2", 237, and always around the football. He's their Jelani Tavai, their leading tackler.
So as the training staff attends to him, Hawaii coaches tend to the offense to see if they can get a spark on this series. It's a good pass completion to Cedric Bird by Cole McDonald on this series. To push the ball downfield. And that dude's #1 jersey. Been pretty quiet tonight. Humbled. Voted into the San Jose State Sports Hall of Fame. Ceremony was last night. And you look at all the names. Jeff Garcia, Bill Walsh, Jack Elway.
But who's your favorite?
The favorite, most notable name in the San Jose State Sports Hall of Fame, Pop Warner. It's tough to get much. Bill Walsh is the genius. All the Super Bowl titles, the San Francisco, but Pop Warner.
Yeah, and there's been kind of a coaching tree, a confluence of great coaches. John Ralston, Bill Walsh. I mean, there's been a lot of great coaches that have been here throughout the years and great football players. Dick Vermeil, how did I forget that?
Greg McMacken under Jack Elway.
Jack Elway, there you go.
3rd and 6 from the 36-yard line. 11:31 left in the third quarter here. Cole McDonald keeps it, fakes the gift to Fred Holly. Over the last game and a half here, Cole McDonald has not shown the ability to run like we've seen over the last year and a half. Whether it's spring camp, whether it's fall camp, even when he got into the games last year, he could turn the corner and he's gone.
I think his best running game was Colorado State, and that's where we saw the quarterback counter, and that was a quarterback counter. But again, according to Craig Stutzman, when you have a quarterback that's that good, you run him when you want to move the chains. You running him on scoring plays. That was an important down, and they're going to run the quarterback counter. But give Derek Odom's defense a lot of credit. Hawaii 2 for 10 now on 3rd down.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 6 from the 36-yard line. No surprise, Nick Rolovich, he's not afraid to go for it on 4th down. Cole McDonald rolls to the right side, has a man wide open, doesn't throw it, keeps it, and that's the Cole McDonald we've seen tuck and run so very well.
Derek Odom's going to be upset because there's an outside rusher that's responsible for contain. And once Cole McDonald breaks contain, you're going to see. Now, to his right, he's very dangerous throwing and running. And you're going to see him tuck that ball away and then wisely get out of bounds after picking up a huge 4th down.
And as happy as the team will be that he used his legs to get a 1st down, when they watch the film, he had a touchdown pass that he didn't pull the trigger. But he got the 1st down, 1st and 10. 19-yard line. Cole McDonald across the middle of the field, inside the 5-yard line, and a big hit taken by John Ursua.
Ursua, you mentioned, gets into the end zone, a volume type of receiver. I don't think anyone can cover this young man one-on-one. And you'll see again, separation on the slant. He understands how to push upfield and then break it off. Depending upon the leverage of the defensive back, he's going to flatten his route off.
In today's college football, take a forearm shiver to the helmet. Does that not require a flag? 1st and goal, 3-yard line, speed option. Cole McDonald outside to Fred Holly, and then knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
So I asked Craig Stutzman, if they read the overhang, the count, and it's too heavy left, can you speed option to the right? And he said yes. That time it looked like there were more blue jerseys, one for the quarterback, you see 53 with a great base, and then 27 coming inside out along with number 31. Great defense, and that's a play Hawaii goes to a lot in the red zone.
Jonathan Leonard, Ethan Aguayo, both there defensively for the Spartans. 2nd and goal, 3-yard line, 9:18 left. Here in the 3rd quarter. Cole McDonald, back in the end zone. Touchdown, John Ursua.
And I don't know, Robert, if we're going to get a chance to see this, but Ursua with a little outside fake because they run the double out, and that's a staple of the run and shoot. The Z go, and then he snakes it back inside. That is tough to cover because you want to stay inside leverage. You watch number 5. You're going to see him with a little outside head and shoulder fake right there. That's all it takes.
And he got a defender to completely bite. Ryan Metzger, extra point. It is up. It is good. The numbers are crazy. Cole McDonald has touchdown pass number 21 this season. And for John Ursua, well, he missed the extra point. John Ursua has touchdown reception number 10. 17-16 Spartans.
You're going to see a staple in the run and shoot, and then this is what Hawaii does to confuse the defenders. Normally, the number 2 receiver, and that is Cedric Bird, number 6, and then number 3, John Ursua, is the number 3 receiver from outside in. They both normally go 5 yards and they run out, and San Jose has seen this 100 times. Derek Odom, the defensive coordinator, has seen it 1,000 times. But John Ursua fakes out. That's all you need. The inside linebacker's not in any position to make that play. I give Craig Stutzman, Nick Rolovich a lot of credit because they know what the opponent is scouting them for, and they do a little change-up.
So Mescal again to the right corner with the kickoff. San Jose State brings it out across the 20-yard line. A spin move across the 40 to midfield. Will he not stay in bounds? What a great answer to Hawaii getting a touchdown. Spartans answer on special teams.
Then I talked to Michael Gabriel last week. Kickoff coverage was a concern with missed tackles. We are so used to seeing Hawaii with a whole bunch of walk-ons covering kicks and being aggressive. That's a missed tackle right in the hole. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And then finally, 41, Cheyenne Sonny Todd knocks him out of bounds.
I'm still speechless that Ryan Mescal missed the extra point. It would have been 17-17. I made the mistake of taking it for granted that it was good.
And the reason why is he's been 100% on PATs, 100% on field goals. That's the first miss.
So the kickoff return by San Jose State gives them the ball 1st and 10 at the 27, and then why not? Josh Love showing more love for his favorite target in Josh Oliver.
H naked boot. The H comes from the other side of the formation, all the way in the flat. The quarterback boots naked, and then he has a layered route, wisely throwing to the second layer. As the 3rd layer clears out, Josh Love, the big target, about 14, 16, 18 yards downfield.
So inside the 15-yard line, Love fakes the give, throws deep down the field. Great defensive effort.
Ro Farris, again, talk about Nick Nelson, Trayvon Henderson, some of the great guys that Abraham Elamimim has coached, has recruited. This guy, Ro Farris, is Hawaii's best corner.
So Trey Hartley, intended receiver, and Ro Farris in perfect position, made a great play.
Yeah, and Robert, you remember years in the past, Hawaii's corners were 5'7", 5'8", 5'9". This 6'2" now.
And all they were guilty of back in the day was being 5'8". Excellent position, good players. Josh Love looking for the end zone, and again, defended well by Hawaii.
That's the free safety. Kalen Hicks doing a nice job of, again, 6'3", understanding when you're in phase, which means you have the coverage, getting your head and eyes back to the football.
And you saw him put the left arm out to gauge, to feel.
Yep.
And when the left arm made contact, the whole body turns around to look for the ball. I've often heard you say, if you don't turn the head and find the ball, they're going to throw a flag every single time. 3rd and 10, 14-yard line. Josh Love looking down the middle of the field, looking for the big tight end. And he got it.
Big time throw, big time catch, not bad coverage.
I mean, they go tight end for tight end, and they go deep down into the end zone.
Watch this throw, great catch. And the thing about Ro Farris is he's expecting free safety help. He has outside leverage. Free safety bit on the underneath route.
So the extra point here by Crawford is up and good. And now the lead is 8 points at 24-16 with 6:20 left here in the 3rd quarter on homecoming for San Jose State. UH Athletics reaches out to you online each week with updated promotions through its H-Mail e-newsletter. How to register, visit hawaiiathletics.com, click on the H-Mail button. It's simple, it's free, and San Jose State's not joshing. Josh Love, Josh Oliver.
Yeah, Love now 15 for 27 for 300 yards. Rob, this is only the 2nd time he's had over 300 yards, and there's still 8 minutes and 20 seconds in the 3rd quarter. And you're right, one Josh to the other. Josh Oliver, 6 catches, 139 yards. Wow. These guys are just dialing it up.
And it's all set up by the Ty Cottrell kickoff return, putting San Jose State in excellent field position after a touchdown scored by Hawaii on offense. Now, Ongafa across the 10-yard line, his return to the 20, fighting for the sideline, extra yards, then knocked out of bounds. Hawaii will take over at the 25-yard line. Did he get to the 25? What a response. Hawaii gets a touchdown, missed the PAT. It's 17-16. Spartans get a great kickoff return. And Hawaii makes 2 great defensive plays on first and second down.
But what did you and I talk about in the pregame? How it always comes down to the end. The series is 20-19-1. These are evenly matched teams.
And over the years, there have been some thrillers. Fred Holly with the carry. After 12 carries, 114 yards a week ago, we've not seen Dayton Faruta at running back. We have seen Fred Holly.
Yeah, and I was at practice, Robert,
And
Wednesday.
Elijah Hill.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those guys. And Dayton Faruta came up to Nick Rolovich and asked to go get treatment. So there's some type of small injury that he's dealing with.
To Cole McDonald, right side. Has Ursula open, underthrew him. He had to reach back and try and get it.
Yeah, good call. It was an underthrow. But give credit to the defensive backs, because when you're beat, you play the hands and the eyes, and watch them take the ball out of John Ursua's hands. Both of those guys going for the ball, not the big hit.
Second time in this game that
Jonathan Leonard.
Jonathan Leonard caused the ball to hit the turf here.
You know, Robert, we talk about pass rushers going for the football instead of the big hit. Defensive backs have to do the same things, because if they lead with their head, it's a penalty. Go for the football. It's a new game.
John Toussaint was initially Johnny on the spot, but it was Johnny on the spot, Jonathan Leonard, that knocked it free. Cole McDonald, this time complete to Ursua, across midfield. What a U-turn, and down the right sideline. Wow.
Ursua's a guy that at 5'9" tall, coming off knee surgery. How fast is he? He's got football speed. There's nobody really catching him on this. You're going to see acceleration, just a simple inside 12-yard speed breakout, and then watch him put on the jets right here.
I mean, he made a U-turn, got away from 2 defenders, then got himself an escort with Cedric Bird.
Yeah, and one thing sprinting coaches will always tell you, if you want to stay in bounds, look straight ahead. Do not look back.
I thought he stepped out of bounds well before where they're marking it here. But I'm not going to say a word. It's the 35-yard line where the offense takes over. Cole McDonald has time. He had a receiver wide open, overthrew Ursula, and for only the second time this season, Cole McDonald is intercepted.
Robert, not only did he get intercepted, what do they teach defenses? Block the quarterback. He ended up on the ground.
Was that a boogie night?
Yeah, and he paid for that physically.
So Boogie Roberts put McDonald on the turf and
beating the double team, splitting the seam.
And Jonathan Leonard is the guy making the pick. Cole McDonald had the short receiver open, went for the long receiver and grossly underthrew it.
Yeah, not a good football decision, not a good throw.
And look who's trying to calm him down. It's the captain on offense, J.R. Hensley.
Yeah, Hensley only a junior, but he is the captain and the leader of that offensive line.
First and 10, 24-yard line. Cottrell, open near midfield, holds it in.
And that's a corner post. He set the defensive back to his leverage, which was outside, and then runs to the post. That's a double move. Really a nice catch on the horizontal extension, and then showing the referee it's a first down.
Cottrell makes another big chunk play. Back to pass. Love. You think Oliver's trying to impress some of the NFL scouts?
Yeah, you talk about general managers, area scouts. There's a whole bunch of guys there, and you can see extension. And some of them think he does not have the afterburners, the big-time speed. But I'm telling you, he's not only sneaky fast, he's got great hands.
So Josh Love this time giving it to Malik Robertson. You don't need to have the burner speed if you make catches like that and if you're wide open.
Yeah, and I agree with you in the comparison to Aaron Hernandez. Some guys are more receiver-type tight ends.
Yes.
And then you got guys like Gronkowski that can block and get open. That's what this guy is. He can block the point of attack and get open in the passing game.
3rd and 1 here. Marked at the 43-yard line. Malik Robo head-on collision, but he did get the first down. It's Matautia and Okeke, their defensive. But Cottrell back in the game here offensively. Malik Robo in the backfield. Fake to him and pressure. Kaimana Tadello. Wow.
You're going to have to scheme this guy. And what I mean by that, you're going to have to chip the back. You're going to have to give this right tackle a lot of help because he barely touched number 96. And anybody that thinks that undersized guys cannot play, they can play at the National Football League level because guys cannot block a guy that has that kind of explosiveness, that type of power, and he's worked hard on his moves.
I haven't yet heard an answer why 96 didn't play last season. A loss of 10 by Padilla. Again! He puts the pressure on Love, and he made Love get rid of it.
Yeah, in the Colorado State game, who's the player of the game defensively? Kaimana Padilla. He's doing it all. I mean, when you look at the stats line, it's incredible. Watch him use his hands and then the hips and turn the corner. I mean, this guy is becoming legendary in this football game.
Podello, Zeno Choi combined today. Excellent performances up front for Hawaii.
And I think Bless Minta'ala is playing well as also. Ricky Longo, the defensive line coach, and Jacob Ure doing a nice job.
3rd and 20, pressure backside. Jelani Tavares, and in and out of the tight end, whose last name is not Oliver, Billy Humphries.
Humphries has to make that catch.
He's open.
Yes, and it goes right through his hands.
It's the risk you take. You blitz 31, Jelani Tavares, who among the linebacking core is probably most athletically capable of defending a tight end down the field. They gambled. San Jose State did not capitalize. The punt here. Did he get it out of bounds? No, it went into the end zone. I thought it went out just before the pylon. 3:44 left in the 3rd quarter, and the Spartans lead the Rainbow Warriors 24-16. Welcome back. You see, the stands here, a pretty good showing for the Hawaii faithful on the opposite side from where we're sitting. 3:44 left here in the 3rd quarter. San Jose State under homecoming leads the University of Hawaii 24-16. Good afternoon. I'm Robert Kikala. My broadcast partner is Rich Mian.
And Robert, you remember in 2007 Warrior Nation, Hawaii would have a bigger crowd than a lot of their opponents, especially in the Mountain West Conference. It's starting to grow. They're seeing this team being the most successful team. Exciting to watch. They've got to somehow find a way to pull this game out. This is a really good football game.
And you do not need the Uber app to jump on the bandwagon. Taking all comers. 3:44 left, 3rd quarter. McDonald, wide open down the field. He almost threw his 2nd pick in a row. He had a receiver who created separation, and that's Ursua again.
Yeah, Ursua already has 7 catches for 96 yards, but he is even, he is leaving, and this is grossly underthrow. Cole McDonald has shown so much improvement in the deep ball. That was not a good throw.
It was back-to-back bad passes by Cole McDonald, but he's built up a credit score that the coaching staff will allow him to make a few mistakes. Not happy about it, don't get me wrong, but it's not a short leash. And again, McDonald, quick connection to Ursua again. You think Ursua is hurt that Josh Oliver is getting all the catches in this game?
I know he's competitive. I know he wants to be not only the leading receiver on his team, but the leading receiver in the game. And he also knows there's a lot of NFL scouts here, and they're watching him as well because he can leave after this football season, and he's a little bit older than your average 3-year junior.
So he took a mission after graduating Calicut High School on the corner side of the Big Island. And Cole McDonald gives it to Fred Holly. Fred Holly gets up the middle, about 4.5, 5 yards.
And everything Derek Odom does as the defensive coordinator is based on tendencies. And what are they doing on first down? Because that was not just typical 3-man front. Those were linebackers that were blitzing, run blitzing to stop this inside run game.
And again, they're having success at San Jose State with just 3 down linemen. There's 3 guys with their hand in the dirt, so to speak. Pick up a 4 yard, 2nd and 6 from 35. Holly, left side, across midfield, and then finally brought down at the 46-yard line. Jonathan Leonard on the back end, that defense, is racking up some tackles tonight.
You're going to see some double teaming on the nose, and then J.R. Hensley doing a nice job of taking the end inside, and that allowed Holly to get out the back door. Holly, 10 carries, 36 yards, only 3.6 yards a carry, but starting to become a little more productive in the second half.
But from the 47 now, 1st and 10, 2 minutes left, third quarter. Hawaii trails 24-16. Cole McDonald trails a block and then turns the corner.
Guess whose block he trailed? Number 7, Dayton Ferruta, was vicious on the perimeter.
So Ferruta into the game for the first time tonight. Against Duquesne, he was the bull in a China shop. 12 carries, 114 yards.
And the player of the game offensively for Hawaii, this guy became a legend last week. He seemed to have a fan base of hundreds.
And on 2nd and short here, it's less than a yard. It's Ferruta to the right side of Cole McDonald. McDonald sees something, tries to change it up. What he saw was a need to give it to number 7.
Now let me ask you, the Hawaii coaches can see us. We can see them. They may even be able to hear us. Do you think they heard us? We want more from Dayton Ferruta?
They're never going to admit it if they did.
Brian Smith is here. I mean, they got a whole bunch of offensive coaches next to us.
But you heard the crowd roar last week when Ferruta just started pounding it.
7.9 yards a carry.
He gets the first down rather easily at 2nd and 1. McDonald has time. McDonald delivers. Caught. Ursua. I think UH wants to hurry. They'd like to get it to a 2 point. If not, go for 2 before the quarter ends.
Ursua over the century mark. And more importantly, Dayton Ferruta has entered the game.
And on his first play, in a blocking situation, Ferruta gets a big block, allows his quarterback to turn the corner.
They're the coaches right there. There's 4 of them in the front row and 4 in the back row. I mean, they've got a lot of intelligence going on.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to us.
McDonald across the middle of the field, completed pass. JoJo Ward near the 10-yard line. And for all intents and purposes, it'll be the final play of the third quarter as the clock ticks inside 5 seconds now. 24-16. The Spartans lead the Rainbow Warriors here on CEFCU field inside this stadium. Brand new field. This is University of Hawaii football on Spectrum Sports. It's been a good college football game. San Jose State 24-16. Fourth quarter about to get started. It's an 8-point game. If Hawaii gets into the end zone, and scores, what are the odds Nick Rolovich goes for 2?
About 100%. When you get to the fourth quarter, the chart will tell you to go for 2. You don't know how many opportunities you'll have left, and Hawaii is knocking on that doorstep right now.
It'll start 1st and 10. Officials mark it at the 12-yard line. Again, Hawaii trails 24-16. They drew first blood, led 3-0. A 15-play drive to open the game, the first possession off the opening kickoff. They've rallied 6. They give to Furuta. No! Cole McDonald pulls it out and turns the corner left side.
Great open field tackle by the free safety. He is responsible for the quarterback on the pull.
Leonard has been everywhere.
You're going to see him come inside out, control his feet, and these are the kind of drills that defensive back coaches consistently work on, is the inside out tracking of the hip, not allowing the runner to cut back across your face.
A pickup of 2 yards. 2nd and 8, 10-yard line. Cole McDonald, completed pass inside the 5 to Cedric Bird this time. It'll be close to a first down. It might be worth measuring.
Yeah, and my problem with this is as you get closer and closer to the end zone, defensive backs have to tighten up.
It's short. It's 3rd and 1 from the 3. The big dog, Dayton Furuta.
That's the first time I've seen the big dog get knocked back, but I think he does have the forward progress.
They call it first down. It's 1st and goal. It's inside the 3-yard line. Right at the 2, in fact. There's the wiggle we saw earlier with Ursula. There's you go big dog. There's speed option. And there's a fade in the corner. JoJo Ward. Hey, it's hard to throw a fade when you're receiving for 5'8", 5'9". It's hard.
There's no question.
Yeah.
No, there's no question. Even those deep dig routes,
Yeah.
it requires tremendous accuracy. They talk about the throwing, the catching radius of tall receivers. Cole has 1 tall receiver.
Yeah.
Marcus Armstrong Brown.
But if I'm San Jose State, anytime I get inside the 5, it's fade. When you go 6'5", 6'3", 6'3", 6'5".
But I think if you're the offensive coordinator, it's Dayton Furuta.
Or look for Ursula to lose some defenders. And what penetration by San Jose State. And it's all the single-digit guys that you mentioned earlier.
The seniors.
Sailosi Latu, disruptive in the backfield, along with Boogie Roberts, as well as Bryson Bridges.
And Jamal Scott doing a nice job of form tackling.
3rd and 3. 3rd and goal from the 3. 12:54 left in the game.
Brennan wants a timeout.
Hawaii trails 24-16. Brennan does get the official's attention
First timeout of the
and
half.
gets the
This
timeout
timeout will be 30
called.
seconds.
What do you do, Coach Miano? It's 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, and you've got an offense that's highly successful this season in the red zone.
There's a couple of things. First of all, on first down, I might have run Dayton Furuta because he's going to get positive yards, and you still have a couple of downs to run the ball. If not, I'm going with number 5. That guy knows how to get open versus any coverage.
But you see what you want about a description for a guy like John Ursula. Some receivers you can say, oh my God, he's so tall, he's so long. Other receivers like, oh my God, he's super fast. Some receivers you say, he's quick. I think John Ursula is savvy.
No question. Really football smart. But I'll tell you, I'm going to have a third option because I need more options.
Speed option.
Yes, with the quarterback or some type of counter because he can run the football. Cole McDonald.
3rd and goal from the 3. McDonald has Furuta to the left. Gets a block. Goes to the end zone. Touchdown. John Ursula.
That was my second option, just so you know. I picked a lot of options. I wanted to be right. And you're always right going to John Ursua.
And they're going to go for two. No question about it. The score changes now, 24-22. And for John Ursua, 11 receiving touchdowns. Number 1 in the country. 12 overall touchdowns. Number 1 in the country.
Cole McDonald starting to get hot, Robert. 21 for 35 for 222 yards.
And here's a conversion. Cole McDonald looks left side, looks right side. Pressure. Will he keep it? He pushes it forward. Underarm pass. Complete. 2-point conversion. It's good.
That is moxie. That is tough. Cole McDonald under duress. The shovel pass.
Marcus Armstrong Brown. Wow. 12:45 left in the game. It is 24-24 here in San Jose. And here's another look at it. 12:45 left in the game, and there's the 2-point conversion. Cole McDonald. I mean, that's a heave. That's a shovel.
And I love the way Ursua came back to the football. This is the 4th game John has had 2 touchdowns this season, but also that 2-point conversion. McDonald now 21 for 35 for 225 yards and 3 touchdowns. Starting to look more like the Cole McDonald you and I both know.
That's 23 touchdowns for the season. And here's a pooch kick. That's a gamble. That's a gutsy call by Hawaii. And the pooch is fair caught just short of the 35-yard line. They give up an extra 10 yards.
Yeah, don't like it. The percentages from starting your drive at the 35 are much different than the 25. And you have some momentum. Have those kickoff coverage guys go cover the kick.
First and 10 Spartans from their own 34-yard line. This game is tied at 24. Josh Love, play action. Pressure from the right side. Has Oliver open and then defended, and a late flag thrown against Hawaii defender Zach Wilson.
Then I think Zach had good coverage. Where's their contact? We may get a chance to see this on the replay. The free safety, Kalen Hicks, was there as well.
Pass interference, number 20. Defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and automatic.
It's a little early, and he's
down.
on that upfield arm of the wide receiver, and that's the one you take away, but I think the contact is just, I think it's a good call.
Tic Tacs are breath freshener. Tiki Tac stinks. There's a penalty pass interference against Zach Wilson. It's 15 yards. First and 10 now from the 49-yard line. And they give to Malik Roberson. It gets across the 45. Maybe got to the 43-yard line. It'll be short of a first down. A pickup of 8 yards.
Anytime you can run the outside zone and get 8 yards on first down, it's success.
Remember in our conversation with the coaches yesterday, and I think it may have been a defensive coordinator who said it. If we do something and we can stop you, we're going to keep doing it until you prove you can stop us. If I'm San Jose State, as much as Hawaii looks at Ursula, why not keep staring down the tunnel at your big tight end?
Yeah, especially because your big play wide receiver is out of the game. He was the vertical threat, but you do have an NFL-type tight end.
That run play here. They'd not mark it a first down.
No, it's third and really short.
It's third. I thought for sure it was a first down. Spartans go, look at that look. That's strong. Malik Roberson goes left side. Barely got it. Ikem Okeke had a shot to make a stop and tackle for loss.
And Corey Batoon, thinking inside zone or tight zone, really had the inside pressure that he wanted. Good job by the running back of bouncing it to the outside and, again, falling forward.
11:15 left in the game. Homecoming. Spartans. This game is tied, 24-24. First and 10 from the 40. Josh Love, taken down.
16 on the safety blitz. I just talked about Corey Batoon dialing up blitzes, whether they're run or pass blitzes. He's bringing pressure.
So Kalen Hicks gets into the backfield and got under a block as well.
I'll tell you, that right tackle, Robert, is getting beat all day long, whether it's a defensive end or a blitzing safety.
That's Dino Moats. He's a junior, 6'5", 275 pounds from Chandler, Arizona.
Hawaii with 3 sacks, 29 yards of loss.
So loss of 7, and Josh Love looking deep down the field. Is that caught? Wow!
You talk about hand battling. The offensive receiver was battling with the defensive back. There was a lot of contact. Ro Farris with good coverage.
That's Trey Walker. Pulls it in, and Ro Farris had great coverage.
Ro Farris needs to go up if he can, get off of one leg and really become the wide receiver.
It seems like now, was it a timeout called, or are they going to replay whether or not he caught that ball?
Love with a career day, Robert. 340, came in with 347 yards all season. He has 371 today, 18 for 32.
That's a catch, by the way. Looking at the replays, I mean, it's excellent coverage.
Oh, it goes right through Ro Farris's hands, and that's why they talk about don't be like a windshield wiper. Stick your hand up in the trajectory of the football.
You got to credit Trey Walker. He makes a catch with a defender on his hip, whose hands flashed in front of him before the ball dropped into his hands.
Yeah, and we talked with Kevin McGivern about quarterback play, about how much will you install in
After
terms of
reviewing
your
the
offense.
play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver has completed possession of the ball. It'll be first down, San Jose State.
Is it clear now that San Jose State has settled on a #1 quarterback?
I think so. I can't see how you would pull this guy. He's throwing the ball with great trajectory. He's hanging in pockets. He's keeping his eyes downfield. He's sneaky athletic, and he's making some really good decisions. This is as much duress as I've seen the Hawaii secondary under all season.
At the same time, up front, they're putting pressure on Josh Love, and he's standing up to it. It's first and goal from the 4-yard line. 10-12 remain. The clock ticking wide open. Touchdown. San Jose State. Malik Roberson. And for Roberson, that's his first touchdown reception of the season. I mean, it was wide open. And you had, maybe it's not a pick play, but you had a little bit of interference, taking out Pavihi, the linebacker, getting over the coverage.
Good job of getting him out on the perimeter. Now Love is 19 for 33, 375 yards and 3 touchdowns.
On the extra point kick, I'm going to watch it this time. It's up and good by Bryce Crawford. With 10:07 left in the game, the Spartans have taken the lead 31-24. Hawaii tied the game at 24, and then San Jose State said,
Great overthrow. That was the pass interference call. It was kind of like a ticky-tack call, but now you see the inside run game on first down, 8 or 9 yards. That's too much. Hawaii's defense has to stop the run because it sets up the pass. That was the first down. Now Josh Love, watch Hawaii coming with the sack. That's Kalen Hicks. And then here was the damage, the deep ball. It's been damaging all day. And then the touchdown. Really nice play calling by offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern.
393 yards total offense by San Jose State. There's the ensuing kickoff. It drives Angafa for 5 yards deep. And he thought about it a second, a third time, and you heard the crowd oohing and eyeing. Hawaii's offense back on the field. They've got 339 yards of total offense. Hawaii quarterback Josh McDonald, 3 touchdown passes.
You and I, after meeting with the coaches yesterday, talked about a quiet sense of confidence, knowing that they played well and they lost to an FCS team, Davis. Then they faced a really athletic, blitzing Washington State defense where they really struggled offensively. But they thought they got their rhythm back against Oregon. Really good athletes, and they had the bye week. They are clicking offensively.
Hawaii takes over first and 10, 25-yard line. 10:07 left in the game. And Fred Holly, he was a step away from stepping through a would-be arm tackle until he was brought down.
Yeah, you called it great, Robert, because right here, if he gets his knees up and he gets through that tackle of Latu, there's some daylight, or maybe some evening type of sunset.
Definitely no morning fog like we saw the other morning. You could not see the mountains behind the stadium.
It's beautiful today. Great football weather.
9:30 left in the game. Pick up a 5-yard. Cole McDonald, middle of the field. Ursua, just short of the 45, but it is a first down.
The thing I like about Ursua is the confidence, the swag. If he catches the football, he's looking to break tackles, and he's strong. He has strong legs, and he steps out of tackles. John Ursua is not done for the evening.
No, it's tit for tat. Josh Love to Josh Oliver. Cole McDonald to John Ursua.
Yeah, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, John Ursua.
And where's Oliver at? 6:57 in counting.
143 for Oliver.
143 for Oliver. Cole McDonald outside. Marcus Armstrong Brown, extra effort, gets in the first down, just short of the 40-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 38.
Do you get the feeling it's whoever has the ball last?
And then, if you told me this was the score, if you told me these were the stats and who was playing, you wouldn't have to tell me who the opponent was. It's going to be San Jose State if you get this type of shootout, this close a game.
And that was the China route. And all of the players and the coaches call Cole McDonald China. That is his nickname, and that's a good reason why he's reading the high-low defender.
It's first and 10. He throws high for Armstrong Brown. Now here's what we find out this week. There's a penalty flag. Is there a penalty flag?
No, there's a player down, but I think he's okay. That's Marcus Armstrong Brown.
So the conversation this week was, you see the kid, he looks California surfer. He's got dreadlocks. And then now all of a sudden, he's Filipino. I didn't see that coming. He's part Filipino.
1/8 Filipino, and you're right. You talk about charisma, good-looking, tall. He looks like something you'd script in Friday Night Lights or Saturday, any type of movie. He's a good-looking kid.
Yeah, that pass completed. And again, the effort by Marcus Armstrong Brown, and he's body slammed by John Toussaint.
I like Armstrong Brown because he's bleeding yardage. He's falling forward. He's fighting for extra yards. He knows that once you tuck the ball away, continue to use your big body.
He stepped out, did get the first down. And it was like calf roping in a rodeo. And he got body slammed in the back end. It's first and 10 from the 31-yard line, 7:46 left. They give to Holly right side. Barely got back. Well, he did get a yard. Past the line of scrimmage.
Bryson Bridges, I mean, we can continue to talk about all three of these guys, but they get hand extension, they stay square, they shed the blocker. Really a nice job by that front three. We talked about them all game long. They're holding up.
7:19 and counting. Second and 10. 31-yard line. Hawaii trails 31-24. Cole McDonald has Fred Holly to his left side. He's looking right side. Throws, completes it. And what an effort! Judge Award makes the first would-be tackler miss. That's a more Ziegler, and then get the first down.
Yeah, Ziegler's had a great game, but Cole McDonald's throwing this ball before the receiver even comes out of his break. First of all, the pre-snap, he's finding out what defensive back is the furthest off, and he's going to that receiver. He's spreading the football around.
I don't know if it's in a dictionary, but he's putting some oomph on the balls he's throwing.
Yeah, he's ripping it. He's got a great platform, and talk to Craig Stutzman, he has great arm strength.
Another first down on this drive. First and 10, 19-yard line. Cole McDonald, right side, completed. JoJo Ward just short of the sticks. Right at the 10-yard line, needed the 9.
As Hawaii gets further and further in the red zone, those defensive backs have to play press. They have to bump and run. They cannot let Hawaii just throw and catch. Hawaii now with 400 yards of offense close to it. San Jose State at 393. You talk about a game that's even.
There's an injured player on the field, just off the field. It's the quarterback, John Toussaint. He's being attended to by one of the trainers for San Jose State.
And do now you attack the guy that's coming in? Because
yes,
that's a very good defensive back going out of the football game.
And you see the two receivers right side are Bird and Ursua. Second and 1 from the 10-yard line. The quarterback kicker, Cole McDonald, faked the give. He faked it to Fred Holly. And Cole McDonald tried to reverse field himself.
Some David Copperfield, because you didn't know who had the ball. It was almost like the mesh just continued to move.
And here's the big guy. I just flashed back to the Reagan Mauia era and the West Philly people. Those big boys just would boogie. 3rd and 1, 10-yard line. 5:24 left in the game. Hawaii trails. Hawaii got a first down. And look, that's a big dog. He wants to eat Dayton Faruta inside the 5-yard line.
He is hungry, but he did get help from some of those guys, that offensive line. But Robert, he's not Nate Lauer because Nate was smaller. He's not Reagan Mauia. He's not Wes Kalikipi. He's Dayton Faruta, and that is a handful. He's a bulldozer.
Hey, you know, when Reagan did it, he started at 365.
Big boy.
And then in a year, drops to 260, gets drafted. But the Miami Dolphins.
There's a place for guys like that.
First and goal, 4-yard line, 4:51 and counting, 31-24. San Jose State leads in their homecoming game. And play action in and out of the hands of Ursua, defended well by Trey Webb.
And they're saying that's a tip ball because the defender was draped on the wide receiver. See if this ball gets tipped at the line of scrimmage. Right there,
yes.
You can see the change of trajectory. Robert, 12th play of this drive. Coming up.
It's great college football.
It is fantastic.
Second and goal, 4-yard line. Does Nick Rolovich have a trick up his sleeve? On the road, in conference, against the Spartans. Cole McDonald has room, rolling left side. He shovels it forward. Touchdown, Hawaii! Ursua.
Unbelievable, because that's John Ursua's 3rd touchdown catch. But Cole McDonald has all kinds of platforms. This is a shovel pass. Watch him. I've seen great plays in football. Cole McDonald's starting to improvise. Ursua, watch him get leverage, and then it's a scramble drill. He's coming back to his quarterback.
And he sets it up to give his quarterback a target. Ryan Mescal, the extra point. It is up. It is good. And this game is tied. 31-31. 4:34 remaining. This is University of Hawaii football on Spectrum Sports. Twelve plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes, 33 seconds, and the numbers do not lie right now.
Yeah, and these are Hawaii's 2 biggest stars. McDonald now 28 for 44, 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. And John Ursua, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns, Robert, and total combined yards for both of those guys
is ridiculous right now. And again, you're all invited to stick around for our post-game show from our Spectrum studios in Mililani. Rob DeMello, RJ Hollis, Nate Ilawa, and Kavika Helms. It's tied at 31. 4:34 left in the game.
Robert, both teams combined for 807 yards of offense.
Hawaii with a short kickoff again, high and wide. They're caught around the 16-yard line, so they'll get it at the 25. Cole McDonald now has 24 touchdown passes this season, 2 interceptions. John Ursula now has 12 touchdown receptions, 13 overall.
They're going to both be leading the nation again.
Yes.
After 6 games, Robert. And the thing about it is, when you talk about touchdown to interception ratio, people talk about 3-to-1. It's 12-to-1. 24 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and nobody can cover John Ursula.
Can anybody cover Josh Sullivan with 4:34 left in the game? Spartans take over, first and 10, 25-yard line. Josh Love looking right side. Josh Love looking for guess who? Josh Oliver. He ain't joshing. And Oliver comes up hobbled.
Good job on the corner route. Good job of staying in the pocket. Good protection, solid pocket, and just a strike in his 3 white jerseys. They might need 4 to cover Josh Oliver.
I like what Ika Mokeke tried to do. He had Zach Wilson who cut his legs from under him. So Okeke went for the ball. I like that.
Oliver now 8 catches, 158 yards.
First and 10, 48-yard line, or 40-yard line, check that. And they go right side. Manigo. And not Malik Roberson.
That's almost like a speed option with the toss. Nice job of getting to the perimeter and outrunning the Hawaii defense.
Another first down for the Spartans. 3:46 left in the game. They run it again. This time, Manigo bounces right side. May have gotten 3 yards.
Kendall Hune coming into this game, Robert, the second leading tackler amongst the defensive linemen. I've seen him with great athleticism, spin moves. He's making plays in there.
And there's a lot of time for San Jose State. Josh Love completes right side. And making the catch is Humphreys.
Yeah, and Hawaii doesn't have really an alpha on that defensive line, but they alternate those guys like a hockey team. They're constantly keeping those guys fresh, and this is a long football game that's coming down to the last play possibly.
It's 3rd and 2 on the Hawaii 38-yard line. It's 2:54 left in the game. It's tied at 31. Spartans, high snap, Josh Love. Almost tripped up, survives it, keeps his balance, and gets a first down.
Yeah, and that's great athleticism. You've mentioned high snap 3 or 4 times during this broadcast. That was up there. I'm not sure what Josh Love's vertical jump is, but he had to go reach up and get that football, which delays the timing of the inside zone.
That previous play, the catch by Humphreys, was it a catch? Give credit to Josh Love. He was dead to right. Tackle for a loss of yards. Steps out of it. Keeps his balance, gets the first down. Gets pressure from the outside. They get him! It was Jelani Tavai putting pressure. It was Hermano Podello putting pressure. And then Hune closed the door.
Yeah, and really give all of those guys credit because they collapsed the pocket. They were responsible. You're going to see a good inside rush. But Podello just gets his hands inside, speed to power, and just drives a tackle that's outweighs him by 50 pounds back into the quarterback.
You don't expect the power rush by Podello. You often expect the foot speed, the get off, to get out, get under. He went straight power to get to Josh Love. And Love again completes the pass, and he was down. Knee touched the ground. It was caught, but they're going to mark it here at the 37-yard line.
And Robert, as this clock continues to tick down, his knee was definitely on the ground. But then it comes field goal time, and it's a chess match to call your timeout and use your timeouts wisely.
So it's 3rd and 12. Spartans at the 37-yard line. Right now, it sets up to be a 54-yard field goal. Right before halftime, Bryce Crawford hit the crossbar from 49. So they got to get some positive yardage to get in better field goal range. And the wind is blowing. It's blowing left to right. It's a chilly night. It's not cold. It's chilly. It feels great, by the way. Great weather in San Jose.
Robert, prior to that missed kick, Bryce Crawford had made 24 consecutive field goals inside a 50-yard. That was 49-yarder. He hit the crossbar.
And he's legit.
Could come down to. He's legit. He does it all.
A minute 19 left in the game. Again, 30-12, 37-yard line. The score is tied at 31. Josh Love gets pressure, gets it off, and goes deep down the field. I don't think he caught it. Out of bounds.
The thing that you have to be impressed with is Love standing in the pocket, taking a beating all game long and throwing this ball that's just barely outside. Really a nice throw. They just ran out of real estate.
And he gets pushed out of bounds as soon as he gets the paw on it.
And give Manu Hudson-Rasmussen a lot of credit because he was pressing out. He was using the sideline.
And he's giving up 6.5, 7 inches.
Easy, and probably about 70 pounds.
Bryce Crawford back to punt. He's going to receive the snap around the 50-yard line.
This is fake territory.
Yes.
I know Hawaii is aware that they probably have their defense staying on the field.
They have to be ready for it. They have to be aware of it.
There's a flag down.
Did Hawaii come out with 12 guys on the field?
And that could change, right? Whether you kick a field goal or you go for the foot down.
They picked up the flag.
Love doing a nice job of going up and getting the football, but that right foot taps on the white.
So Crawford now back on the Hawaii 45 to receive the snap. An end-over-end effort goes into the end zone. Hawaii will get the ball, and they're going to have to march. They're going to have to move down the field. They do have a couple of timeouts left.
And that's a mistake, right? You're supposed to sky punt that ball and make the returner make a decision on the 10-yard line. When the ball goes into the end zone, that's a loss of 10 yards. That's hidden yardage. Hawaii now starting the drive on the 20 instead of the 10. Huge break for Hawaii.
And we're going to have a check of the timeout situation.
The scoreboard saying Hawaii has 2, and San Jose also has 2.
So each team with 2 timeouts remaining. The minute 7 left in the game. It's 31-31. It'll be 1st and 10. Hawaii will take over from the 20-yard line. Cole McDonald, that quarterback, he's thrown 4 touchdown passes in this game to bring Hawaii back on 1st down. His completion to the outside, left side, Marcus Armstrong Brown did not get out of bounds. The clock continues to tick away. 55 and counting.
Then I'm pressing Marcus Armstrong Brown because he's not a burner. You got to get up there and play him, or else Hawaii will take the 8 or 9 yards.
The pickup of 8 yards there. Cole McDonald looks to the opposite side. JoJo Ward gets out of bounds. 1st down, Hawaii. 42 seconds left on the clock.
That's a big-time throw and catch. McDonald now 5th game with 300 yards. The outside receiver, JoJo Ward, speed breakout, ball thrown before he breaks. That's timing.
Hawaii cannot get over inches. It's a coaching cliche, but they're going to have to take what the defense gives them. If the corners back off 10, 15 yards, take the 8, 9 yard out, get out of bounds.
Yeah, and San Jose playing quarters defense, and that's what will happen. If they don't press the outside guys, you'll have that speed break.
1st and 10, 36-yard line. Cole McDonald pressing him back. He cannot take a sack. He does get sacked. Hawaii's going to have to use a timeout.
Yeah, big number 92 doing a good job of holding on to cloth.
Kate Hall getting to Cole McDonald. Hawaii now uses one of their 2 remaining timeouts. 34 seconds left. And They lost a good chunk of yards. It was 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. With the sack, it's backed up 4 yards. It'll be now 3 yards they're going to give it officially. It'll be 2nd and 13, backed up to the 33-yard line.
34 seconds. Clock stops when you get a first down in college football. 1 timeout. And obviously, we're hoping for good things for this Hawaii Rainbow Warrior team, Robert. But there's nothing more exciting than college football overtime.
So Ryan Mescal this season, coming into this game, was 4 for 4 with a long of 35 yards. McDonald has Farouk to the block, to the middle of the field, completed to Ursua near the 45-yard line, about a yard short of the first down, and the clock is still ticking on 3rd and 1.
San Jose State now 3 deep, 4 underneath. It's kind of a prevent. Let them catch the ball underneath as the clock continues to tick.
And they put pressure, jump offside, did San Jose State. Cole McDonald got outside the tackle box, heaved it out of bounds, but it looks like San Jose State jumped. And as good as the Spartans are up front, you got to give credit to Hawaii's offensive front. Not only have they handled the physicality, handled the pressure, no penalty flags again. So it's officially offside. The only penalty flag I can remember against the offensive line was Il Manning, illegal receiver downfield.
Yeah, but Robert, I also want to give credit to the back 7 of San Jose State because they've done a nice job. The linebackers tackle well, the defensive backs cover well.
It becomes first down, but there's only 9 seconds left. Hawaii needs a completion and a quick timeout.
And you're going to get a 3 deep coverage, Robert, 4 people underneath.
They can afford to go in the middle of the field one time and then call timeout.
They got to get out of bounds. Well, they have 1 timeout left. Essentially, there's 2 plays left in this football game for Hawaii.
And you figure a long of 35, that's it this season, by Ryan Mescal. We've seen him in practice, hit 45 to 50. He's capable. They put another second back on the game clock. It's now 10 seconds. That you'd like to think they need 12 to 15 yards and then get their timeout. Cole McDonald has time. Cole McDonald, he's got to get rid of it before the clock hits 0. He can't take a sack. And he fumbled. 0. We're going to overtime in San Jose.
What a game. I just love college football overtime, and you know what? Cole knew he had best 1 play left, Robert, and he was trying to go for it all.
I mean, it's lucky for Hawaii, time ran out. He fumbles it there. It's dangerous territory. The clock did strike 0. This game is tied at 31. And the Rainbow Warriors, on the road in San Jose, is headed into overtime.
Cade Hall now, that's 2 huge plays in this series. You can see the game clock on the left ticking down. The ball is out. It is picked up. But I think the clock did expire before Cade Hall and the crew was tackled.
It's been fun. There's been drama.
Yeah, and there's been offense, right? Love, 22 for 37 for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. McDonald, 31 for 47, 317 and 4 touchdowns. Combined, 717 yards.
So overall, homecoming, San Jose State, 47, 32, and 2. All time, homecoming for the Spartans versus Hawaii. Hawaii leads 2-1.
And don't get me started on the NFL overtime because I cannot stand it. It's hard to even understand and explain. College football overtime is legit.
It's exciting. It keeps it exciting.
And these stats count. It's amazing because at the end of the game, depending upon how long this goes in overtime, John Ursua, Cole McDonald, Josh Love, going to have even better stats.
And the fact that you cannot tie.
I love it. Yeah, there's already been too many ties in the National Football League. There's no tying when you play a football game. Somebody has to be the victor.
Again, you're all welcome, invited to join the post-game show after this game. We'll be live from our Spectrum Studios in Mililani.
That is your tail. That is your head. That is your tail. What is your call?
Captains are meeting at midfield.
And it is a head. San Jose, you want to take defense. All right, go ahead and swing yourselves around.
It looks like Hawaii called it. The flip went in favor of the Spartans.
Hawaii, first down.
You always defer. Whoever wins defers because you want to know what the opposing offense gets, so you know what you need.
But it'll take a whole special kind of someone to win the toss and take the ball. Okay, so what happens here in overtime is the first team goes on the field, they get the ball to the 25-yard line. You can make a first down, do what you got to do. Field goal, touchdown. If you turn it over, game over. Is that the way it sets up?
Well, both teams will have an opportunity to
For the
score,
25.
right? And that's why you defer, so you know what the opponent has, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, you know what you need now. After 2 tries, then you have to go for 2, which is a reason why you don't have a lot of ties. You don't have any ties in high school or college football.
First team scores a touchdown, get an extra point. Second team scores a touchdown, go for 2, come up short, you lose. Go for 2, you convert, game over. You kick the extra point, you go tit for tat, you play another overtime. And again, it's got to go 2 overtimes, and then you're forced to go for 2 points. Hawaii gets the ball first. They've got Faruta in the backfield. It starts at the 25-yard line. And they give to Faruta. Left side. Gets tripped up, picked up 5 yards.
I think any second-level defender or third-level defender, linebackers or secondary,
Don't want it.
trip him up. Don't take him on.
Like, he punishes you when he gets tripped up and it falls forward an extra yard and lays a shoulder into a back-end defender.
And you'll be spending all week in the whirlpool.
Yes. A pickup of 4 for Faruta. They give Faruta right side. Big dog. It's close. He may have gotten to the 15-yard line.
Robert, this is Hawaii's first overtime game since 2013. That was against San Diego State.
Wow.
They lost that one 28-21, hoping for better results.
The only score in that game was Marcus Kemp. Alley-oop touchdown catch. It was 3rd and 1. He got just a yard short of the first down mark. They give it again for Faruta right side. And a collision, first down.
Faruta has vision. He's not just a converted linebacker. He played that obviously at Mililani High School, but he's come a long way with ball security.
And he didn't have to go far to get physical. He understands that part of the game very well. 1st and 10, 14-yard line. This is the first possession of overtime in San Jose. Paco McDonald looks right side. Receiver open. Caught, stepped out of bounds about the 5-yard line.
And there's only one way to cover that, is you got to roll the corners up, play cover 2, but you can't play cover 2 in the red zone. They're forced to play quarters. They have to get up and motor out or backpedal out, or else you're going to see this all evening. We've seen it all evening.
So JoJo Ward successfully hauls it in. Ball's at the right hash mark. Wide side is to the left. Faruta at running back. It's 2nd and 1, a pickup of 9. The completion to JoJo Ward. And here on 2nd and 1, Faruta near the goal line gets to the 1-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. Pick up a 9. The completion to JoJo Ward. And here at 2nd and 1, Peruta near the goal line. Gets to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal now for Hawaii. I like that in overtime, Hawaii chooses to get physical.
Yeah, I love that too, and I love the fact that the offensive line is getting up to that 2nd level, and they're playing with a lot of pride.
The 1st and goal is at the 1. Comandano has Faruta to his right. Gives it to him. Touchdown. David Faruta. His first.
And what Faruta does is make the whole team seem more physical. And it's inspiring. That young man, we didn't see him in the first half, but he's been a big part of the success offensively in the second half. You're going to see right now. Watch the double team on the nose. And then if you're a linebacker in the hole, you better punch up through there and take Faruta down by his legs. Faruta now 9 carries, 26 yards and a touchdown.
But remember now, early in this game, Hawaii missing that tonight. And overtime, right misstep is up. It's good. Faruta touchdown. Ryan Metcalf, PAT. Hawaii leads 38-31. Now, here's the deal. It forces the Spartans to score a touchdown and a successful extra point, or the game's over. If Hawaii on defense gets a turnover, game over.
And so give credit to Il Manning, J.R. Hensley, Ta'anga, Tuilima, Solo, Vaipulu, and Kolavau. Those guys, I think they've got better as the game has gone on. And I'll tell you another thing, Robert. Hawaii's defensive line is really doing a better job at the end of the 4th quarter, and they were applying some serious pressure.
We met with the coaches. McGivney, the offensive coordinator, a lot of respect for Porter Platoon as a defensive coordinator. And they go kick the deck. They fake the speed up and then throw it over the top. Overthrown by John Schlupp.
Of course, this is 4-down territory because you got to get in the end zone.
That's McGivney thing. 1,000 best plays. You fake the pitch to the running back, let him swing out the back door, and then try over the top to the running back. About the play design. 2nd and 10. 25-yard line. Brent Brennan in his 2nd season as head coach. The snap here. Pressure. He drops low. And he delivers. Malik Robertson.
And you talk about a great play design. Hawaii had 2 guys coming off the defensive left side, and the back sneaks out. Perfect offensive call versus that defense because Hawaii is burning zones.
Josh Love has been impressed.
I am so impressed. This young man is tough, savvy, making good decisions.
To stand and deliver. There are 2 defenders in his mind. The fact he gives it, go right to left, took the corner, Malik Robertson. They've got Hawaii to fight on the misdirection and a pre-snap motion and run the opposite direction.
And what did I tell you about Kevin McGivney? The book on him is the 1,000 greatest plays on offense. He's going deep into the playbook.
That's why it's exciting. Overtime.
Robertson now 13 carries, 48 yards. Remember at halftime, San Jose couldn't run the football. They are much more diversified in their attack.
They couldn't run the first 3 games of the season, but they're averaging about 60 yards per game on the ground, amongst the worst in the country. But Arthur Crawford, his extra point is good. Guess what? We're going to overtime number 2 here in San Jose. Hawaii marches, gets a David Faruta touchdown. San Jose State responds, gets a Malik Robertson touchdown. It's 38-38.
And Robert, the 2017 last week was honored by the University of Hawaii in the Circle of Honor. There was 3, 4, 5 games that came down, 2 of them to overtime, 3 of them to the last possession. If you're going to be a good football team, you believe in one another, you win the close ones, and that's what this is all about.
So 07 was overtime Louisiana Tech.
I think San Jose, and I know Fresno.
Overtime.
Fresno was last possession.
The Washington game
went down 21-0 in the first quarter. Ryan Mouton's interception. The good teams win the close games, and that's what it's going to take for this Hawaii team. Because even though San Jose State's 0-3, I felt they were a good football team, and they're showing it.
And here's a wrinkle in overtime. In the second overtime, and each pursuing overtime, they swap who goes first. So Hawaii went first in the first overtime on offense. Spartans answered, and now the second overtime, San Jose State will start on offense.
There's nothing I don't like about college football overtime. I think they got it right. The NFL does not want to do that.
Right side, wide out, 89. It's in their legal emotion right side. They tried to confuse the defense by sending a man in motion, open all over the right side, but they went left side. Excellent coverage in the back end by Hawaii.
Yeah, Samuel Akuteo with good pressure, but Ro Farris with even better coverage.
Second down. Second overtime. 2 tight ends now. 1 on each back. They fake the give in and out of the hands of Billy Humphrey.
That's the second drop. For 81, he's got to make that catch.
As much as I want to think Dionne Warwick and do you know the way to San Jose, you kind of want to think Billy don't be a hero. Catch the ball before you decide to run with it.
And I flew here with the team, and you and I are flying back with them back to Hawaii. A win would be a much better atmosphere.
Yes. Third down. And 25-yard line. Josh Love has time.
Excellent coverage. Jelani Tavai.
Big play by Jelani Tavai showing that he can do it all. Rush the passer, tackle open field, cover guys, keep them underneath, come up and make the nice tackle.
Now we're talking second overtime. And Jelani Tavai shows us another gear. Bryce Crawford now. This is huge. We're going to put it down the 32-yard line. This will be a 42-yard attempt. He's a legitimate college kicker. Excellent. He's got leg power. He missed earlier. He missed again. Yes, he did. He missed. For him, what turns out to be a chippy. He's one of the top kickers, punters in the country. He never got all of it. Clearly.
He hit it too low and there was no distance. It was just a high, short kick. You can see the hold. And then he pushed it to the right.
But I tipped it up here. Hawaii just needs a field goal. This game's over. But they cannot play not to lose.
Yeah, but I still think you'll see some Dayton Ferruta because they've had success. Look at him.
He's doing jumping jacks back
Reminding
there.
me of Joey Iosefa.
Against Navy. He comes back from his foot surgery and carries the ball 40 times. From McDonald. He's right side for Ferruta. Ferruta cuts it back to the left. It's inside the 20-yard line.
Big time play. You get 5-6 yards on first down. You keep the ball in the middle of the field. I'm not saying they're setting up for a field goal because there's a long way to go in the football game, but you need to get 5 or 6 yards on first down.
They get 6 yards by Ferruta on first down. Ferruta left side of Comandante. They give it. They keep it to Comandante. He took it out of the belly of Ferruta.
Yeah, and
It's
this.
wide open on the right side.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think the ball You want a position in the middle of the field. The thing that people don't understand about college football, the hash marks are that much wider, so it becomes an angle kick. In the NFL, the ball's always in the middle of the field.
I'm trying to think like how Nick Rolovich would think. And I'm thinking, if you keep feeding Veruca, that defense steps up. Now you take a shot to John Rasul. It's 3rd and 5 at the 20-yard line. He sticks it in the belly of Veruca. It bounces back toward the middle of the field. It sets up a Mescal field goal attempt. Let's see where they're marking.
And for the viewers, it was a too-high secondary, which means it's a 6-man front. That's the proper call, the give on the run.
The ball's at the 18. When they snap, it'll be placed on the ground about the 26-yard line. A 36-yard field goal attempt by Ryan Mescal. And Brett Brennan calls timeout.
Iceman.
He calls timeout.
Interesting. Gamesmanship. Brent Brennan. We've seen Rolovich ice kickers before halftime, but this is the use your timeouts. Ice the kicker. Also set up defensively a potential block.
And this is what we talked about, where good teams, you need to do a couple of things. Good teams win the games they're supposed to win. Good teams win games that are hard fought, knockdown, drag out brawls. And good teams have to come up with ways to win tight, closely contested games on the road in double overtime.
They had a lot of teachable moments. They haven't played their best football, but again, it's all about the W.
The ball will be put down at the 26-yard line. It'll be a 36-yard attempt for Ryan Metzger. The kick is up. He missed it.
The pressures of college kickers.
Look at the reaction by Brent Brennan.
It's tough to tell from that angle. It took him a while to realize he missed it. Look at that vertical jump.
He got some hang time. Brent Brennan went airborne.
He's still young, former wide receiver, can get off the ground. Colt Brennan's cousin.
Who got his coaching start as a graduate assistant in 1998 under Fred Van Appen. And then he starts his second season as a graduate assistant at the University of Hawaii for about 5 hours. And the guy he was supposed to be assisting, he couldn't stand it. So he packed his bags and he left.
There was some inside pressure on that. But the guy you're talking about was me.
Yes.
He was my GA. We went to Duke's. I'm trying to love him up because I think he's going to be a great coach. And he gets a better job.
Washington, right?
Yes, University of Washington.
So he goes to the University of Washington. Along the way, he crossed paths with guys like Josie Amalo,
Mark Banker.
And then we talked to the defensive coordinator, Derek Gordon.
Yeah.
He said,
They coached together.
yeah, he tutored. His GAs were Abraham Elementary, and at one time, Jacob Lowell.
6 degrees of separation.
Third, overtime. Touchdown, you have to go for 2. Going down, pressure, right side. Did he cough it up?
No, he's sacked.
He's sacked.
Aguayo, 31, and he's been making plays all game. We haven't called his name enough, but again, look at what they're doing up front. There's dogs, there's stunts. They're applying pressure. They're challenging Cole McDonald to throw the ball downfield.
They've unleashed the dogs in overtime. And towards the end of the regulation, they put pressure. They got to Cole McDonald a few times. But it's 2, 3, 4 seconds. You got to get rid of the ball. The loss of 6, so second and 16 back up to the 31-yard line. Cole McDonald has time. Looks right side. Goes over the top. Overthrows. Intended receiver, John Is that the point of defense you talked about? played well.
That's exactly quarters. And the difference now, the corners are getting closer to the outside receivers, not allowing them to run the speed breakout. You can see Ursula do a nice job with his hands and then just vertically trying to get upfield, but he cannot quit on that route. He has to accelerate to the back of that end zone.
3rd and 16, 31-yard line. It's tied at 38. This is the 3rd overtime here in San Jose. Coleman-Donald. Delayed blitz. He stands and tries to deliver and throws it out the back of the end zone. And the delayed blitz forced him to get rid of the ball.
There's nothing scary, Robert, than safeties having wide receivers, the inside guys, Bird and Ursula, challenge you vertically and then have a two-way go. But the pressure was applied.
And now they're forced on 4th and 16 to attempt what would be a 49-yard field goal.
Here's Joe Amalu.
So Mescal from 49 misses. He was perfect. He was perfect coming into this game. 2 missed field goals and a missed extra point. And we're talking about following the season where Hawaii was 1 for 4 on field goal attempts.
And Noah Gordon, the snapper, great snap, good hold.
He had the distance.
Yeah, he did.
And every kick he attempted tonight, Ryan Mescal had plenty of leg.
And I'd be shocked now if you don't see San Jose State being conservative with inside runs because they have that much confidence in the kicker, although he's missed.
Yes, twice. Both kickers here have missed twice on field goal attempts. One kicker has missed twice in overtime.
You went to numerology because I was number 38 and so was their kicker.
So here in first down, Josh Love is on the time. He completes it short of the 10-yard line, but on first down.
We talked about the similarities, the commonalities to Brent Brennan and Nick Rolovich. Throwing the ball on first down, maximum protection, 2-man route, deep out, tough to cover. This young man with strawberries on his elbow has earned the respect of this booth, and I'm sure a lot of fans throughout that are watching this broadcast.
But Trey Walker pulls it in. And on first down here, Malik Roberson is stopped after a gain of maybe a yard by Manu Hudson-Rasmussen.
One thing I was talking to Michael Gabriel, the special teams coach, is how they scheme up blocked field goals. And they've been successful. Jelani Tavai has blocked the field goal. It's not over, Rob.
2nd and 10. Right side. There's no chance it's been taken. They're running to the middle of the field.
That's exactly what they're working their way for the ball to be back in the middle. They're going to put it in their field goal kicker's hands once again.
So Bryce Crawford, there's 38. Stretching on the Spartans sideline. The 3rd and 9.
Hawaii with a lot of guys inside the box, expecting run.
They do get run. Roberson again. May have got back to the original line of scrimmage, which is a 13-yard line.
You know, Crawford was 3 for 3, Robert, against Oregon at Osden Stadium. He's kicked under pressure. He's a Luke Rosa, nominee. This guy has never, I don't think in his history, has missed 2 field goals in one game. A lot of pressure.
So the holders at the 20-yard line. This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt. You'd expect Rolo would ice it.
He did.
So Rolo ices Bryce Crawford.
And that's another thing I like. Every part of the overtime, you get one more timeout per series.
You see Brent Brennan there. hugging up his kicker.
Say I love you. You can do this. You think Coach Brennan's watching his cousin?
Yeah. And you think most people watching this game will stick around for the post-game show? Rob DeMello, Kavika Helms, Nate Gilawa, and RJ Hollis from the studios, our Spectrum Studios out in Mililano.
Hollis may give a clinic on how to block Kaimana Padella.
Had a great game. Gino Choi played well. John Devine played well. Weston played well. This will be a 30-yard attempt. Bryce Crawford is up. It's good.
It's no good.
It's no good. Wait a minute. The Spartans were celebrating.
There are 8 coaches in Hawaii's box. Unbelievable. That's why I told you I love college football overtime.
I mean, the celebration had started. The coaches, the players, the fans. Contraire. Those celebrations were premature. What we have here, folks, is a 4th overtime. And now San Jose State gets the ball first.
What you have there is social work, counseling, and I think 2 head coaches that are going to not leave it in the kicker's hands. I think the conservativeness is over.
And again, if either one of these teams scores a touchdown, they got to go for 2. You have to go for 2.
Good point.
This is the 4th overtime. It's tied at 38. Josh Love has time. Incomplete. Look, left side, receiver drop. Is on the carpet. Here at CEFCU Stadium in San Jose, California.
Again, Hawaii's defensive line was applying pressure late in this game, in this overtime. That's what they call maximum protection. It's a 2-man route, and Hawaii buzzed the defensive end out underneath to give a little help to the corner. Really a good scheme by Corey Batum.
2nd and 10. 25-yard line. Josh Love has time. Quick slant. It looked easy.
The one thing you teach your defensive backs is take away the inside. Make them throw the out route.
Galecki Nunn here in the 4th overtime makes his first catch of the night. Boy, you got to keep an eye on 89. We speak to the right side. Josh Love, the late draw. Was it a busted play or designed quarterback draw?
I think so much pressure, he did not have a chance to go through his progression, Robert, and he did the smart thing. Get positive yards, do not take the sack. You're going to see right now, they put the 5th receiver into the formation. No, I think you're right. It could be a quarterback draw. A lot of times on empty, you'll do the quarterback draw. I think that was designed.
Does either one of these head coaches have it in them to attempt the field goal? Josh Love pressure, gets hit, alley-oop, and doing the hitting was Jelani Tavai.
Tavai has a motor that just does not stop. You're going to see right now. Watch him use his hands and just brush off the right tackle. Josh Love was taking a pound.
And textbook. Got the head to the outside, put a shoulder right at the abdomen hip area, and sets up 39 from the 11-yard line. Only Grover's in it, running back. Josh Love looking right side. And what effort! But
Ball's out.
Ball's loose. There's a scrum near the 2-yard line.
Why do offensive linemen go downfield? This might be the reason. Officials do not know who has that ball, but it was out.
They're calling 4th down. The fist went up. Is that Nunn with the catch again?
Solomon Maltautia is deep, and he's pulling the lawnmower. He's got the ball out. The ball is on the ground.
Troy Kowalski caught it when Matautia yanked it out of Nunn's hands. And then he fumbled it, went onto the carpet here,
And the officials talking to Solomon about great technique. The ball was out.
They've got to replay it to see who finally recovered, if there's even a shot at seeing who did come up with it.
And where's the ball spotted? Because it's a crucial situation in this football game.
Is it first down?
They measure it.
Fourth down. So here comes the change. The official's taking a knee near the 3-yard line, or 2.5-yard line. Short.
Did we say one Manapua?
He's short. It might be the distance of one Manapua and a Porkash.
What would you do? Fourth down.
Under normal circumstances, I'll keep the field goal to Dodge. Under tonight's circumstances,
Kickers in the game.
you know what I do? Boogie Nights.
Run Boogie Nights straight up the middle.
If I'm the Spartans, I go Boogie Nights.
The fans do not like this
No,
decision.
they don't. And this is a quality college kicker.
Its confidence is obviously shaken.
We're going to put it down at the 10. It'll be a 20-yard field goal attempt. An absolute chippy. That's up. That's good. It's 41-38. San Jose State.
Wow is all I can say.
Dare I say this has been a great college football game.
There's some counseling. There's some love.
I mean, it's a long time. What time does the game start? On Friday night?
Almost 8 o'clock here in San Jose.
It's 4 o'clock will start time. 4:06 maybe, in that vicinity. Again, the post-game show, it could be entertaining. Rob DeMello, Kavika Helms, Nate Ilawa, RJ Hollis, live in the Spectrum Studios out in Mid-Atlantic.
It's always entertaining. That's quite the crew, and I love listening to those guys pre-game, halftime. Can't wait for the post-game show.
The rookie remains the running back. Only needs a field goal to tie. They're going to play action. That pass deflected. I like the call, though. I like the call.
Guido gets his hands up into the throwing lanes. Bridges applies pressure. You're going to see right here, 31.
He's like, if the other team's 31 going to make a play in overtime, I'm at 31 making a play in overtime. Aguayo answers the call on defense. Second and 10 from the 25-yard line.
The corners on the outside are pressing Robert. Much tighter coverage.
He goes outside, receiver came inside, and he took a shot. Boogie Nights.
Yeah, when you talked about Josh Love's toughness, McDonald's also a tough quarterback. Anybody that doesn't think it's tough physically to play quarterback, watch the game on high school on Friday, Saturday in college, in the NFL. Those guys take some shots and they stand in the pocket.
So Boogie Roberts gets to Cole McDonald and sets up 3rd and 10. Is the fourth overtime? Yes, it is. They've got to throw it now. Cole McDonald telling his kid bring the blitz. A completion to Cedric Bird, who was short. But you like to think it's in chippy range.
I'm not sure anything's a chip shot. Mesco 1 for 3, Crawford 2 for 5, combined 3 for 8. It's not even a 50-50 proposition.
It's 4-2. UH does have some trickeration in his back. Dare you?
A lot of pressure. I know Noah Gordon's been consistent on all snaps. The hold has been good.
But Ryan Mescal, his field goal is up. His field goal is good. And guess what? Because you all are such nice people, we're going to give you a fifth overtime.
And it allows me to talk about Noah Gordon. It's an operation. The snap was perfect. The hold was good. Brody Nakama is up in the box. That guy was 100%.
And the Ingrams before him.
Ingrams before that. I really believe Hawaii's had the best long snappers in college football the last 10 to 12 years.
I mean, it's been Ingram, Brody Nakama, and then you got Borden. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And never a mistake. Never a bad snap.
And also, the Australian connection. I mean, we got kickers, punters. Special teams has been special when it comes to kicking field goals and punting, usually.
So the fifth overtime, boys first. Boys got the ball. Did not play the same offense that they had the entire second quarter.
Conditioning, confidence, execution.
But Comedano on first down, complete. Marcus Armstrong Brown to the 18-yard line, pick up a 7.
And it's tough to tell your cornerbacks to go press.
But you get beat once that,
It's over. Yeah. But at the same time, the outside ball has really hurt the San Jose State's defense.
Both offenses have not connected with Rasul or Oliver.
Surprising.
Second and third, 18-yard line. Fifth overtime. Right side, first down, just short of the 10-yard line.
Great open field tackle because Faruta had a hole and give that offensive line a lot of credit, especially on the right side.
I think he lost the wheel.
Solo Vaipulu called the foul along with center Tonga Lima.
So Faruta goes down. He may have lost his shoe. So he's out.
Is that a big shoe leg with?
He blew off feet. Fred Harley, first and 10, 12-yard line. Comedano looks lights out. That's not free. He had a receiver. Ursula got hit. Good timing defensively by John Trusant.
This is trap. The corner's looking through to the number 2 receiver. He comes off and knocks the. That's trap defense.
Second and 10. 12-yard line. Fifth overtime. If any one of these teams get, it's going to put tremendous pressure on the other team. Boys first in overtime. 5. Comedano. It's a keeper. Touchdown. Comedano gets into the end zone. And then now, is there a flag?
A late flag, and it looks like a holding at the second level. I came out late. Watch right here.
Yeah.
They're going to get
Hensley.
down on that second level. Hands were not inside on the breastplates. They got a little bit outside.
He might get away with it. He doesn't pull him towards you.
Yeah, and once the defender gets a little sideways, you got to let go.
Yeah.
Wow.
They played well up front, though.
Yeah, and give Mark Webber a lot of credit in terms of the disposition. This is the youngest offensive line in college football, in FBS, starting true freshmen.
So touchdown off the board. It's first and goal, or second and goal, from the 17. Not a change again. Second and 15 for the 17. This is overtime 5.
Let me give you a little stats. Love, 27 for 47, 446 yards, 3 touchdowns. McDonald, 32 for 52, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. The guy that's been a little quiet in overtime, number 5.
And 89.
And 89, the 2 biggest weapons. Robert, total offense, we're approaching 1,000 yards, 965 yards of combined offense.
It's 41-41. Fifth overtime. Hawaii ball. Second and 50. From the 17-yard line. Hawaii getting 5-1. 2-0 in the Mountain West Conference. On the down, the little bit. He goes into the corner of the end zone and is defended well. Left to shot yet again against JoJo Ward.
Just that really nice coverage. And you talk about being on an island. Not a lot of help when you play quarters for that outside cornerback. Gets his head back.
Credit JoJo Ward. It was underthrown. He went into defender mode and then back into receiver mode. He didn't just try to keep it away from Toussaint. He tried to make the catch. McDonald looks right, looks down the middle, looks into the end zone. It looked like the end of the Army game.
Similar route. McDonald again on his backside. And the appreciation for both quarterbacks
No question.
to stand in the pocket, keep your eyes downfield, go through your progressions, and then take the shot.
It's not in the huddle. It's going to be, okay, we're going to do this, and oh, by the way, you're going to hit it. There's no way around it. The right Metzger. They'll put it down at the 25-yard line. A 35-yard effort. His kick. It's up. It's good. Hawaii now leads. 44.
This has been the longest overtime game I've been involved with as a broadcaster. I've never coached one this long. I've never played in one this long.
These hazardous working conditions.
We're over 4 hours. People are getting back from the beach in Hawaii and a great day, and they're watching this football game going like, wow.
We might miss our flight tomorrow morning. So now, San Jose State. They have to get a field goal. They play yet another overtime. They get a touchdown. It's over. They turn it over. It's over. It's over. Josh Love. Look at the cut block. But the Spartans up front. And let's see now when you catch.
Yeah, the
And
cut
then
blocking and then the dash.
We haven't seen the
sprint
cut
out.
block.
No, not all
the
game.
entire game.
Kevin McGivern has 1,000 of the greatest plays, and he's going deep into that play.
I guarantee you, Kevin McGivern, after talking to him, there's no clean napkins anywhere near him. He'll pick it up, grab a pen, and start scribbling. Like the sand at the beach, beware. He might start drawing plays in the sand.
The Philly special?
Yes.
You might have that.
They'll love it. 2nd and 4. And now from the 19. The Hugh.
It's going to be interesting because it was awfully aggressive.
Now they San Jose State flinched and then
They
get
did
hit.
move. Watch the center now. Sometimes they call the cadence. The protection's called by the center.
He moved.
He moved. There's no question.
No question. So false start
That is huge.
against San Jose State. The center is Trevor Roberts. 57. So it backs it up now to 2nd and 9. And Hawaii calls time.
6 penalties for UH, 10 for San Jose State. Hawaii's been much more
Yes.
disciplined in the penalty column this season. Only one against Navy. 1 penalty, 5 yards. You have to go back to
Which is remarkable.
2014.
Like, even a really good team gets that luck. Not many teams in college football can go an entire game with 1 flag.
5 yards. I mean, that shows that these guys, the players, are buying into what the coaches are saying. The coaches, and that's the biggest difference, believe in the players, Robert. In this staff of Mark Baker, Mark Weber, Corey Batum, Ricky Longo, who else am I missing? Andre Allen? That's 156 years of experience.
Know what it adds up to?
That's what it adds up to. Wow.
So 2nd and 10. Back up to the 25-yard line. Josh Love looks right up. Pressure backs up. Jump. Jelani Bovard.
That was huge by Jelani Tavai, and he's also...
He's got to be double-digit tackles again.
Oh, there's no question, but he's also tackles for loss all time, sacks. He's climbing up every imaginable defensive chart.
You know, you start looking at it, you start thinking Boyette. You start thinking Houston Alla. You start thinking guys that have played here at UH whose motors never stop. 30-15, backed up to the 30-yard line. Boy brings pressure. Josh Love, one for the home run. He had Lexi Nunn, and Lexi Nunn was covered. It sets up 4th and 15 from the 30. 37, 47-yard field goal attempt coming up from Bryce Russell.
Right through the fingertips.
They have a chance. The put down will be at the 37-yard line. Bryce Crawford will attempt a 47-yard game-time field goal. Mixing the game's over. This is overtime number 5 here in San Jose. If he misses, his game's done. Crawford's kick, he's not going to make it. Game over. Hawaii wins in 5 overtimes here in San Jose, California. And Hawaii now is 2-0 in the Mountain West Conference. Wow.
What a game and what a flight back. Enjoyed this victory because the good teams find a way to win the close ones. And I'll tell you, the 2 quarterbacks were outstanding.
It's never always going to be easy. But when Hawaii takes on the Spartans of San Jose State, it's always going to be exciting. And look, Hawaii's stomping the crowd. The Rainbow Warriors are into the crowd with the Hawaii faithful to thank them for sticking around on the road.
That is huge, and you can see that when they travel, the class that they have in terms of treating flight attendants, bus drivers, people at the hotel. This team is so much more disciplined, it's better coached, it's exciting, and I hope that people continue to try to jump on this bandwagon before it's full.
Let's take a look. We had a camera of Hawaii head coach Nick Rolovich when Ryan Mescal attempted that. I mean, when San Jose State's kicker tried to tie it up Bryce Crawford, he missed it. Rolo's face, and then Ryan Mescal after that missed field goal.
That was something out of Australia. I don't know if that was athletic or. Look at those guys.
I mean, you gotta, at one side, you gotta feel awfully happy for Ryan Mescal.
Yes, you do.
To struggle some and then get the game winner. On the flip side, look at their kickers, legitimate. One of the tops in the country, had an off day. 5 overtime. The players of the game tonight, 44-41 final. Brought to you by Bank of Hawaii for Hawaii, John Shore. 11 catches, 100. I gotta put the glasses on. Can't see numbers. 148 yards, 3 touchdowns. And quarterback for the Spartans, Josh Love, 28-49, 451 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What a game! 5 overtimes, never been a part of it. Final score, 44-41.
Yeah, and I can't wait to go home on the plane with these guys tomorrow. Next week's practice, and then bring on Wyoming.
It's back home next weekend. Again, you're all invited to stick around. Our post-game show is coming up next live from our Spectrum studios in Mid-Atlantic. For my broadcast partner, Rich Miano, for our entire Spectrum crew here in San Jose, California, I'm Robert Kikawa. Again, the final score, Hawaii wins 44-41. Aloha from San Jose.